Chapter 26. Zhou Mu was led Bai Yutong into the elevator and pressed the button for the 15th floor. The depressed mood also eased. She seemed to think of something, and asked Tong curiously, "Sister Yu, the head teacher came this time, is it for the matter reported by the Haipa sub-teacher? The bishop reported that a demon appeared in Haipa city. Is this true?" "It should be true. The major events happening in the city these days are indeed a bit weird." Yutong nodded, with a serious look on his face, and his eyebrows were frowned, as if he was joking. "This matter has to be discussed at a meeting above, and the credibility is not generally high." "Then which adult is the chief teacher here?" Zhou Mu asked. "I also just received the notice from the head teacher. This time, a big person is coming to Haipa city. The God of Light, the 7th rank Paladin of Destiny Holy Throne Angel. Yutong slowly revealed the identity of the person, his tone full of awe. "His 7th rank Paladin of Destiny." Zhou Mu held Yutong's jade hand tightly, and took a deep breath. "The shock in my heart is beyond words. Professionals who have awakened their destiny will also be divided into 3, 6, and 9 grades. There are 9 ranks in the title of Destiny. 9th Order of Destiny. One step at a time. Among the thousands of forces in Yan Kingdom, their Rose Company is a subsidiary of the grandchildren of the Saintess Convent under the Light God sect. They are close to the gold-level corporate forces, and they are not even ranked in the head teacher. In this Haipa city, it is a top 10 big company. A king-level multinational group like the Guangming God sect is a giant that they dare not even look up to. However, among the king-level powers, the Guangming God sect has a faint tendency to dominate. Did a boss of this rank personally come to Haipa city for this rumor? A strong man of the 7th Order of Destiny. In their old Zhou family's inheritance for more than a dozen generations, none of them appeared. Since she was a child, she has always listened to it as a fairy tale. She didn't expect that now she would have the opportunity to see a living 7th Order of Destiny. The day before yesterday, there was another blood loss for unknown reasons. Many high-level masters suddenly felt an evil force peeping at them at the same time. That's why the head teacher paid attention. Maybe this is a signal of the resurgence of the demon Dao. On Yutong's charming face, there was unprecedented seriousness. In this era of job change for the whole people, there are some organizations that are always unwilling to abide by the rules and stay on the edge of the law. They are called demon ways. Yan Kingdom is a newly rising top country in the world. It has a long history, a vast area for leveling, and countless secret places, rich in precious minerals. In addition to these attractive resources, it has attracted the covetousness of other powers. Yan country is also the most populous country in Blue Star, with professionals accounting for a quarter of Blue Star. For this reason, it has been dubbed Blue Star's largest talent market by other countries. Yan Kingdom has a vast territory and rich resources, and is full of talents, all of which are the consensus of all major forces. The demonic Dao has made a big move here, which means that something terrible will happen. The demonic Dao is going to hold a meeting? Found some forbidden treasure? Ready to plan a demonstration against the righteous way? There are also various other reasons, which may be the reason why the evil way appeared in Haipa city this time. But no matter what the reason is, the righteous way cannot ignore this action of the demonic way. Will our peaceful life be affected? Zhou Mu asked worriedly. Working in Rose Company is his favorite thing. If the world shakes again, even though the Rose Company is a branch of the Guangming God sect, it will not be spared. Who can tell for sure? But if a catastrophe really comes, we will have to rely on the mountain of the Light God sect. Yutong sighed, facing the general trend sweeping the world. They are all little people, and they can't help themselves. Let's go, don't worry, after we have a meeting, we will have our own conclusion. The most important thing for us now is to receive this big shot. The mayor, leaders of major corporate families, and guild presidents will all come to welcome them. We must not neglect them and let people say that our Rose Company is rude. Yutong took Zhou Mu's hand out of the elevator, and said to her earnestly. Zhou Mu naturally listened carefully to this important matter. About Xinghe, she had already forgotten it 1,000 miles away. In the face of big right and wrong, she can still decide which is more important. Zhou Mu followed Yutong into the conference room. Look at the big guys on their heads all over the room. The shock in my heart, I can't calm down for a long time, it's all the company executives who are much higher than her. It is rare to see them usually, but they will gather here today. Could it be that the weather in Haipa city is really going to change this time? The wings on Xinghe's feet were flapping, and he was running quickly in the city. Every time I pass by passers-by, there will be bursts of exclamation. Everyone is guessing which family's young master this is, who is extravagantly using the speed scroll to hurry. The speed-up scroll is the life-saving treasure at the bottom of the box for ordinary people. The price of a scroll of 100,000 federal coins is only willing to use it in the wild when life and death are at stake. But the city is a safe zone, where professionals will encounter life and death crises. The only reason that can be explained is that the young master is using the acceleration scroll to hurry. After using the speed-up scroll, everyone is the Flash. It took only 10 minutes for Xinghe to arrive at the professional guild, usually half an hour's drive away. The reason he came here was to borrow the guild's teleportation array to reach Xinghe city next door. In the era when Blue Star's people changed jobs, airplanes and trains are no longer the mainstream of people's travel. Between big cities, Daxia Unicom's teleportation array is the best choice for people. Through the teleportation array of the guild, professionals can travel thousands of miles in the blink of an eye. If enjoying the scenery along the way is not the main requirement, the first choice for people to travel is the teleportation array. After Xinghe entered the guild hall was still deserted today. Because President Su and Director Song were disturbed yesterday. I am not going to continue to trouble them today. He went straight to the corner of the teleportation array of the guild. The transmission arrays are short-distance small two-way transmission arrays. The guild will arrange a total of 10 teleportation arrays in a row for people to travel. Usually, there are still queues to travel here. Generally, it is good to be in line within half an hour. But in the now deserted guild, only Xinghe can teleport. He walked into his favorite number 7 teleportation array. On the array operation panel, the destination for this time was selected. In the formation, a camera scanned Xinghe's facial information, and deducted 5,000 federal currency from him according to the distance of his itinerary. After the complex program operation is completed, Xinghe closed his eyes as instructed by the teleportation array. A burst of dazzling brilliance lit up. The light penetrated Xinghe's eyelids, making him frown uncomfortably. Then the body enters a state of weightlessness. The dazzling light and weightlessness lasted for about 10 seconds. Wait until all visions disappear. There was noise coming from all around. Xinghe just tried to open his eyes. He looked around, the bustling crowd. Let him recall the familiar guild scenes in his memory. The welcome words "Welcome to Xinghe City" echoed in the hall. Everything shows that he has arrived at his destination safely. Xinghe City, here I come. Xinghe was also very excited. This was his first time traveling far since he was a child. It was still sitting in the teleportation array that he had only seen in books before. Things that he never dared to think about before have become reality today. Chapter 27. After Xinghe left from the Xinghe City Professionals Association. Go out and catch a taxi. Follow the leveling suggestions above, leave 35 given on the map, and prepare to go to the Sunset Mountains to the east of Xinghe City. Xinghe, who took a taxi, admired the street scene of Xinghe City. After about half an hour, the taxi drove Xinghe to the border of the safety zone. Boy! I can only send it to you. After passing through this forest, you can see the Sunset Mountains. The characteristic of the Sunset Mountain range is the most obvious. When you find that the sun is always at the setting sun position, it means that you have entered the range of the Sunset Mountain range. After the taxi driver stopped the car, he turned his head and smiled and explained to Xinghe. Then thank you, master. Xinghe smiled politely, paid and got out of the car. After he got off the car, in front of him was a vast and boundless forest. Can't help but sigh the magic of this era. In this era of job change for the whole people. The desert, sea, forest, and snow-capped mountains are no longer limited to the north-south geographical location. At any time and place, professionals can encounter various terrains in the wild. A primeval forest that should have appeared in the north unexpectedly appeared in a coastal city. Xinghe took out the magic map, followed the position of the little red dot on the map, and started heading towards the Sunset Mountains. Relying on the passiveness of blood hunting, Xinghe is still in the wild, and even a hidden thunder cannot be triggered. The Leave 35 monsters along the way turned a blind eye to him. Did not pull him into the monster lair. In just 15 minutes, Xinghe traversed the entire forest. If it was another ordinary professional, it would take a lot of recovery potions to reach the Sunset Mountains. In terms of time to cross the forest, it takes at least 2 hours. After passing through the forest, a mountain range blocks in front of Xinghe. The surface of the mountains is densely cracked with many paths. If you are not very familiar with the terrain here, you may get lost easily. If you want to reach the leveling area on the top of the mountain, you have to go through these mazes. Xinghe walked towards the crack, and chose the 7th entrance to enter according to the number he liked. Walking in the crevice of the mountain surrounded by twists and turns, he found that no matter how he walked, the sun was hanging high at the setting sun. The sun was about to set, as if God had pressed the pause button. The setting sun will always make this mountain range shrouded in the afterglow of the setting sun day. It's really amazing, time seems to stop here, and it's always at sunset here. Xinghe sighed. The scene here is exactly the same as what the taxi uncle told him. This brother, please stay. This entrance belongs to our Yunshin company, why don't you change the entrance? Suddenly. Fork in the hills. Suddenly a deep voice came out, stopping Xinghe's footsteps. When he was about to reach the top of the mountain, dozens of burly figures stepped out of the shadows and stopped in front of Xinghe. Xinghe frowned and swept over. This group of muscular men were all over 2 meters tall. Shi Peng occupation, 2nd order of destiny, rock warrior level, leave 80 life, 60,000 mana, 10,000 to 10,000 strength, 822 agility, 300 intelligence, 265 title, the blessed one of the earth guardian of the strong wall fitness expert. Shi Jianyi occupation, 1st order of destiny, armor piercing archer level, leave 66 life, 9983 to 9983 mana, 12,000 to 12,000 strength, 324 agility, 669 intelligence, 356 title, falconer 9 out of 10 shots. Li Jun occupation, tier 2 destiny, dual swordsman level, leave 78. A trace of blood flashed across Xinghe's eyes. Blood demon eyes automatically turns on. Everyone's information was displayed in detail before his eyes. Those who stand in front of him are all professionals who have found their destiny. The 2 leaders are outside the 2nd level of destiny, and the rest are all 1st level of destiny. What makes him strange is that no matter whether it is a warrior, a mage, or other professions, all of them seem to have well-developed muscles. This person who claims to be Yunshin company, is it a fitness club? The leader is a rock warrior of the 2nd rank of destiny, with a lean cropped head and explosive muscles, visually giving people a strong sense of oppression. A professional like Xinghe who has found his destiny is not a threat at all in the eyes of everyone. Large companies are good, they can set up cards at the entrance. A large number of people means a lot of confidence. But since these people have already awakened their destiny, why do they still come to reserve the leveling area around leave 50? Could it be to escort the young master of the company? Xinghe looked at the human wall in front of him, thinking thoughtfully. Since there are so many entrances, why conflict with them? He smiled, turned around and left. Find other entrances that lead to the top of the mountain. After all, this is not Haipa city, he is not familiar with the place, so there is no need to conflict with the locals. Just find another entrance by yourself. Upgrading with peace of mind is the most important purpose of his coming out this time. The reason why he chose to come to the Sunset Mountains is that the map said that the monster cracks here refresh frequently. Professionals only need to find a small area, and they can guard and spawn monsters without worrying about running around. Most importantly, he can't do it easily. Once he made a move, he was afraid that he would not be able to bear it and would suck the blood of the group of people on the opposite side. Everyone cheer up and continue to be vigilant. After watching Xinghe leave, the people of Yunshin company returned to their standby positions after receiving the order from the leader. Xinghe turned to a secluded corner and started blood hunt. A trace of blood flashed in his eyes. All kinds of blood energy ribbons appeared in the field of vision very quickly. He used Blood Demon Divine Eye to look at a blood thread at will. A mirror rises in the sea of blood in the brain, and the information corresponding to the target appears on the mirror. Monster, Fire Pattern Red Drill Level, leave 45 life point, 30,000 to 30,000 magic power, 500 to 500 power, 340 agility, 400 intelligence, 120 skills, Iron Claw, Bite, Throwing Specialty Introduction. The baboon in the Sunset Mountains, after being infected by the atmosphere of the other world, alienated into a fire-marked red mandrill, with infinite strength, quick movements, and a strong hatred for humans. Monster, Flametail Wolf Level, leave 40 life point, 20,000 to 20,000 magic power, 300 to 300 power, 300 agility, 300 intelligence, 300 skills, Flaming Tail, Scorching Breath, Howling Introduction. The original wild wolf in the Sunset Mountains, after being infiltrated by the atmosphere of the other world, alienated into a flame-tail wolf, quick in action, sinister and cunning, packs monsters, and is good at hunting targets. Xinghe with God's Eye of Blood Demon. The monster he saw was different from other professionals. In addition to the name and level of the monster, he can also see more details about the monster. Introduction to attributes, skills, and monster origins. Chapter 28. Judging from the information obtained from Blood Demon God's Eye, the fire-marked red mandrill and the flame-tailed wolf are both pack monsters. Individual strength itself is not low, and it is a social animal. No wonder the major companies will form teams to upgrade. Coupled with the monsters on the Sunset Mountains, the refresh rate is very high. While ensuring stable upgrades, there are also good item drop returns. The Sunset Mountain range is simply one place, a good place to kill two birds with one stone. After clearing his mind, Xinghe spotted a golden blood ribbon inside. Go in the direction of its source. According to Xinghe's many experiments, this kind of golden blood energy ribbon will 100% explode the equipment. To his surprise, when he was about to reach the top of the mountain again, another group of people ran out and blocked him. The difference was that this time it was a bunch of men with heavy makeup. In a professional group that looks like ASE. A man with a twisted waist walked out, and stood in front of Xinghe delicately. Little big brother, this is the special entrance for our chrysanthemum company. If you want to take this road, you have to play with everyone. He blinked his eyelashes, expecting Xinghe's reply. No, I have teammates, but they got separated. Xinghe suppressed retching, turned and left without hesitation. The company I met this time was really abnormal. He had a strong premonition. If I walk slowly, Chrysanthemum may not be able to keep it. Xinghe, who had hit the wall many times, began to guess in his heart. The area of the Sunset Mountains may have been carved up by local companies. It's not easy for him as an outsider to get in. But this is also normal, he thought of a good place for leveling. Others must be able to figure it out too. In other words, this is the leak area of the major companies in Gasua City, and people squat here every day to cut leaks. Xinghe said helplessly. If a person does not join the company, choose to fight alone. I guess I can't even drink the soup. Only then did Xinghe realize that this should be the reason for Blue Star's high employment rate every year. It seems. Only if I get mixed up with a company, can I have the opportunity to practice on the top of the mountain. But the Muscular Man Company and the SE Company are really hard for me to accept. I'd better find a normal company. Xinghe is going to go down the mountain to find a suitable team. It would be a complete waste of time if Tou Tai went looking for another entrance. When he was going down the mountain, he also kept using Blood Demon Eyes to screen in his mind the companies that fit his heart. While observing with Blood Demon Divine Eye, he took out a blood bottle from his portable space and poured it into his own mouth. Because there is no blood-sucking target, Xinghe will be extremely anemic when using blood skills. So he had to keep using blood bottles to supplement his life. But it won't last long. If the blood bottle runs out, he hasn't found his favorite company yet. He could only return to Hypa City in despair. The reason why Chairman Su gave Xinghe this map is based on his identity as mysterious, rich and young. Accurate intelligence, coupled with strong forces. The two match. Only in this way can Xinghe's rocket-like upgrade speed be guaranteed. But no one would have thought that Xinghe has been alone until today. There is no background behind Xinghe at all, the background they imagined. He is just an ordinary graduate. Xiaomansen who just changed jobs. Half an hour later. No one wanted Xinghe, who was wandering around the mountain. Whenever he shows his class, it will attract contemptuous glances from others. It looks like I'm going to return home disappointed today. Xinghe smiled wryly. Most of the companies here are fixed teams. He is a little rookie of leave 35, and his chances of finding a company to join are almost zero. Just when he was lost, a system beep sounded. Ding! Qian Duoduo from Shai Weishan Company invites you to form a temporary team, do you agree? In Xinghe's field of vision, a system prompt popped up suddenly. Xinghe froze for a moment. Someone would take the initiative to find him to form a team? He glanced around, and his attention was instantly caught 20 meters away. A fat man holding a lollipop attracts. The fat man's bean-sized eyes were staring at him with a smile. A trace of blood flashed across Xinghe's eyes. Fatty's message instantly appeared in front of his eyes. A lot of money, occupation, chef level, leave 30 life, 28,000 mana, 2900 to 2900 strength, 400 agility, 236 intelligence, 219 title, the stomach of the gluttony, the master of whole cuisine. Brother, can you take me up the mountain together for free? I see that you look a little anemic, I can make you a Mao Shui Wang for free. That's a great supplement. Qian Duo also noticed Ye Xinghe's gaze and walked up to him. A greasy chef gown, wearing a special chef hat. Mung bean-sized eyes looked at Ye Xinghe expectantly. Fat into a ball, looks very simple and honest. Qian Duo also observed Ye Xinghe for a long time. He could see Ye Xinghe's embarrassment of being rejected continuously. Qian Duo confirmed. Ye Xinghe, who is desperate, will definitely accept his invitation to form a team. You are a life profession, what are you doing here? Ye Xinghe frowned, full of doubts. He was about to leave, but he didn't expect that the money would be a lot of money, but he was invited to form a team. This is really just about to doze off and someone will send you a pillow. It's just strange that the fat man in front of him is actually a cook. He's a cook by trade. But I came to the Sunset Mountains alone, this dangerous place. Could it be that this cook thinks life and occupation are too boring, and wants to hold a kitchen knife by himself and go up the mountain to fight alone? Ye Xinghe was thinking wildly. Our company is a well-known food company in Gasui City. The most expensive and best restaurants in the city are all owned by our company. Don't think I'm an ordinary cook, I'm a cook with dreams. I've also been watching you for a long time. Your profession is a mage, and the most urgent need at the moment is to upgrade, but it's difficult for no one to take you up the mountain. You protect me, how about I take you up the mountain? As for the distribution of the dropped items, I only need the ingredients, and the rest will belong to you. Qian Duo said vaguely while holding the lollipop in his hand. Have a dream to pursue a cook? Ye Xinghe held back the smile in his heart and carefully looked at the fat man in front of him. Qian Duo was a little apprehensive when Ye Xinghe looked at it. The bottom of my heart is also beating a drum. Well, I don't know if this mage will agree to his invitation. In order to fulfill his dream of making his own recipes, he secretly ran to the Sunset Mountains without telling his family. After coming here, he found out. No company is willing to team up with him at all. When he revealed the name of his company, some people were willing to form a team with him. But everyone will ask him to pay a high employment price. But when he sneaked away, he was too anxious and didn't bring any money with him. It eventually led to an embarrassing situation where no one teamed up with him. Chapter 29. Sunset Mountains. Qian Duo looked at Ye Xinghe nervously, waiting for him to make a decision. His time is a little tight, if his family finds out, he will sneak out. May be caught back in minutes. He invited all the scattered people down the mountain one by one. No one could answer his request. And Ye Xinghe is his last hope. Ye Xinghe looked at Qian Duo's big eyes, and was moved by his almost begging eyes. He sighed helplessly and decided to temporarily join the catering company. As for whether he can reach the top of the Sunset Mountain range, he can only pin his hopes on this little fat man. How much energy can a catering company have? Treat a dead horse as a living horse, doctor. Ye Xinghe pressed the agree button. Ding! Qian Duo's team invitation has been accepted. Because you temporarily join the Food for Heaven company, you can only enjoy a 20% bonus of the company's corporate culture. Food is the sky corporate culture, eat all the delicious food. Eating all the deliciousness, when eating, double experience effect can be activated. Because Ye Xinghe is a temporary worker, he can only enjoy 20% of the company's benefits. The benefit of this company is that when you eat, you can get an experience bonus effect. Isn't this too foodie? But after seeing the company benefits, Ye Xinghe was surprised. Qian Duo also showed shock on his face. However, he was surprised by Ye Xinghe's identity information. Thank goodness! This big brother finally agreed to his invitation to form a team. But why is his name and level? The Leave 35 he showed was a fake level to deceive people? Could it be that? This is the test of the boss to the ordinary people. FK. I found a treasure. Qian Duo's eyes widened, and he had come to a conclusion in his mind. This handsome guy who looks a little anemic must be a high-ranking boss of destiny. Showing a level of Leave 35 here and there is a test for ordinary people. Test them to see if they have the compassion to help newbies. But none of them passed the test of the boss, and the only one who passed the test was himself. It is because I have a lot of money and do good deeds that I can encounter such a good thing. Duo secretly rejoiced. The test given to everyone by the hidden boss, but he was the only one who passed it. He just wanted to shout at this moment, who else? As a young master whose food is everything, he followed his father and hosted many big bosses. He has read countless guys, and every time he sees the big guy's information, there are a bunch of question marks. The specific details are not visible at all. It's real. The sick young man standing in front of him is undoubtedly a high-ranking boss of destiny. A lot of money was picked up, and I became happy instantly. The haze in my heart was swept away. Xinghe looked curiously at the little fat man in front of him. Didn't I just agree to his request to form a team? Why is he so happy? It's the same as winning the first prize in the lottery. What Xinghe didn't know was, in Duo's mind, he has already been brainwashed into big thick legs. However, he didn't care why Duo was so happy. As long as you have enough money to bring yourself, it is enough to reach the top of the mountain. The only doubt in his mind was the temporary worker buff activated after joining the Queen of Food. Those company employees with eccentricities that I met before. It is estimated that they are all affected by this company corporate culture. That is, when you are fighting, eat something in your mouth. After the battle, the experience settlement will increase by an additional 40%. This bonus effect is not simple. It seems that the bragging of this little fat man may be true. Xinghe was a little surprised. This dirty and fat cook may really have a lot of background. He looked at the buff added by the company where food is the sky, and he thought about joining a serious company in the future. Join a company that gets buffs without many quirks. Brother. Let's go together. It's getting late now. I'll find it at home in a while. Our plans for today may go to waste. Duo's small eyes rolled around, carefully observing the movement around him. He had already spent a lot of time here, and he reckoned that his family members should come as well. If he is captured today and wants to come out later, it will be extremely difficult. Good. Then I'll hurry up. Xinghe nodded in agreement, seeing Xiapang's nervous expression, he probably wasn't pretending. That's all. Xinghe followed behind Duo, curiously watching how he could get past the obstruction of those big companies. As he expected, when they arrived at the mountain pass, someone stopped them. Sorry, here. The leading company that blocked the two of Xinghe hadn't finished what he wanted to say. It was interrupted by Duo. I don't care what company you are. I am the young master of Gasu who lives for the sky. If you dare to stop me, I will make your whole family unable to eat a single grain of rice in Gasu. Duo raised his nostrils and didn't even have to look at the other person. His name and rank light up above his head. The signboard of Shi Weishan Company was shining brightly above his head. When the other party saw the signboard of Shi Weishan Company, his face changed drastically. The leader frowned and struggled for a while, then forced a smile on his face and said, "You have less money, you can go in. But don't say that you entered through the entrance of our handed-down company. Rest assured. I understand the rules." Duo squinted and smiled, and patted the shoulder of the leader of handed-down company a few times. I am very satisfied with the appearance of the other party's knowledge of current affairs. He waved his hand and greeted Xinghe behind him, "Go, brother. Let's go up the mountain." At this time, in Xinghe's eyes, Duo fits the image of a young master. Coupled with his invincible figure, he looks like a pigskin bully. That's the power of power. Xinghe followed silently, behind the arrogant Duo. "Brother. I didn't lie to you, just follow me tighter, and make sure you can eat delicious food and drink spicy food." Duo glanced at Xinghe behind him with small eyes, and his tone was full of pride and showing off. He felt that he had to let the boss know. Although he has a lot of money and looks, he is not the kind of villain who bullies others. Qian Shao said yes. "It seems that you really didn't lie to me." Xinghe laughed. This is really a cute fat man. Now that he had gone up the mountain, Xinghe let go of the suspense in his heart. Following Duo's pace unhurriedly, he looked around the surrounding environment. Xinghe, who was following behind Duo, smelled at least 7 or 8 dishes from Duo's body. Watching him all the way was like juggling. Keep taking out small snacks from the portable space. Let him guess that the little fat man might really have sneaked out from home. Ordinary professionals don't have unlimited portable space like Xinghe. They have to be careful with the space and bring all kinds of life-saving props and dress-up props. In order to prevent encountering various situations in the field, when dealing with problems, you will not be in a hurry. Like Duo, he had never seen a person who came to the wild with snacks. Chapter 30. Brother. It's so strange, why can't you step on a hidden thunder? Could it be that all the monsters have been wiped out by other companies? Duo took Xinghe and wandered around the top of the mountain without encountering a single monster lair. Xinghe smiled and did not speak. He has already activated blood hunting in the dark. Silently looking for a suitable monster. Don't worry. Maybe there are greater benefits ahead, waiting for us. Xinghe said calmly. There are piles of rubble all over the mountain. The two of them were in this pile of rubble, constantly climbing over mountains and ridges. It took only a while. Xinghe stopped in his tracks, and said to Duo, let's go back a certain distance, don't go any further. Boss, we just came from there just now, and we didn't encounter any monsters. Duo looked at Xinghe suspiciously. He had already laid down and let the boss take him to fly. But to his disappointment, he didn't even see the monster's hair after going up the mountain. If you trust me, I will definitely not let you suffer. Xinghe's tone was full of confidence. The reason why he asked to go back was because a thick golden blood energy ribbon suddenly appeared in his field of vision. In other words, the shipping monster finally appeared. Boss, of course I believe you. Duo believes that the boss must have his own reasons for going back. Just listen to him. He rubbed his hands expectantly, anticipating what surprise the boss could give him. After making up my mind. Xinghe took Duo and returned to the place he had just passed. Under Duo's puzzled gaze, Xinghe tapped his fingers lightly in the void. The eyes of the two were instantly dark. When the normal light was restored again, the two had arrived at a rock cave. In the very center of the cave, lay a fire-patterned red drill. However, the length of this fire-patterned red drill is somewhat unusual. The color of its fur is not the same as that of ordinary red drills, it has red hair. But snow white. Xinghe, who was prepared, fell to the ground lightly when he entered the cave. But Duo would be miserable. With his fat body all over his body, he fell firmly to the ground, stirring up a large cloud of dust. Boom! The loud noise directly awakened the sleeping Ril. Squeak! The fire-patterned red drill roared like a baboon. With bloodshot eyes, he rushed towards the two of them. Blood flashed across Xinghe's eyes. Fire-pattern red drill king, variation, level, leave 60 life point, 100,000 to 100,000 magic power, 50,000 to 50,000 power, 500 agility, 656 intelligence, 332 skills, tier heaven Sanshao, beast blood madness, beast master domineering introduction, it is the most talented king of the Ril clan. On the road to becoming the strongest, it accidentally mutated and became the strongest Ril king in the past. Warn. Professionals must not run away when encountering boss monsters. Damn it! Is it this mutated fire-patterned red mandrill king you said you don't suffer? Boss, your shot is a king bomb. Mom! I want to go home. Seeing the Huan Scarlet Drill King rush towards him, Duo's face changed drastically. Although he doesn't have Xinghe who has God's eye, he has seen a lot of information. But that warning reminder, he could actually see it clearly. I just want to come to this mountain to find some Hericium erinaceus that I like. Why is it so unlucky to meet this mutated king? Originally, Beastmaster was difficult, and there would not be one in decades. And this time it was the mutant Beast King. It's the same as farting and hitting your heel, it's all so dark. My fat man has done good deeds all his life, how could he encounter such a thing? Seeing the sharp claws of the Huan Red Drill King getting closer, the pale Duo closed his eyes resignedly. Isn't it just a slightly stronger monkey? Why all the fuss? Xinghe looked at Duo, who was shaking like a sieve, speechlessly. He also didn't expect that the Huan Scarlet Drill King would take aim at Duo, the fattest man at first glance. Does it like to eat fatter? Xinghe took a step forward, standing between Duo and the Huan Scarlet Drill King. Gently raised one hand, and pressed against the sharp claws grabbed by the Huan Scarlet Drill King. Xinghe's strength is as high as 540 points, which makes him not as strong as a mage. The bone dragon ring on his hand glowed grey. Ow! Ow! A resentful dragon chant sounded, and an invisible sound wave attacked the Hwaun Scarlet Demon King. The Hwaun Scarlet Drill King who rushed over suddenly seemed to have lost his soul, and his blood-red eyes showed confusion. The attack was interrupted, and he froze in place. Fear. The B-level ring that Xinghe obtained in Jade Dragon's secret realm. The effect attached to the ring Fear has a 20% chance of causing the target to fall into a state of soullessness. It's like turning the Fire Emblem Scarlet Drill King into a muggle. Boss. Awesome. Qian Duo, who escaped from death, shouted emotionally. The boss's shot is extraordinary. With a wave of his hand, he summoned the dragon chant. This is extremely high, okay? However, the birth of the mutated Beast King will definitely attract people to come. At that time, if someone steals the monster, it will be troublesome. The extremely excited Qian Duo suddenly saw something, and the smile froze on his fat face. Ding! Attention all citizens, there are king-level monsters in the Sunset Mountains, 789,322, please kill them as soon as possible by capable professionals. To maintain the peace and well-being of Gasua City, contribute your own strength. In the field of vision of Xinghe and Qian Duo, a system prompt suddenly popped up. All monsters above the elite appear. The local professional guild will receive the fluctuation when the monster appears. The information will then be sent to the public channels of local professionals. Anyone who is confident and strong enough will come to grab this piece of fat. Qian Duo instantly became worried. Although Food for Heaven is one of the largest companies in Suzhou City. But if the Hwaun Scarlet Drill King really recruited the pack of wolves, they would not be able to control the situation by virtue of their reputation of eating the sky. Judging by the appearance of the boss, he should have known ahead of the guild that there would be monsters above the elite level appearing here. That's why I brought him here in advance. But shoot the bird. No matter how powerful the boss is, he is still hard to beat with 2 fists and 4 hands. Why did he choose to appear here first? Wouldn't it be nice to lead him to pick up leaks behind others? Why is this big guy like a rookie, a little stunned? He even began to wonder if the person in front of him was really a boss. He took a closer look at the team formation panel and confirmed that all the question marks were displayed on it. Qian Duo calmed down a little. Seeing the big brother's hand pressing on the top of the head of the Hwaun Scarlet Drill King. A look of enjoyment. Don't panic, boss, panic yourself. The big brother eats meat, and he just follows his butt and drinks soup. Why worry so much? Qian Duo felt that he was overthinking, since he decided to follow the boss. Lie down honestly. Woohoo! At this time, the Hwaun Scarlet Drill King's face was distorted, his teeth were grinning, and his face showed pain. Chapter 31. Sunset Mountains. Monster Lair, inside the cave. Xinghe's 5 fingers firmly grasped the head of the Hwaun Scarlet Drill King. Activate the skill Blood Drain. Feeling the continuously rising life value in his body, Xinghe broke away from the previous anemia state. His pale face slowly turned flushed, with a look of joy on his face. The muscles of the fire-patterned Scarlet Drill King like a hill began to shrink slowly. Slowly start leaking like a rubber ball. Xinghe's blood skills seem to be his instinct. As long as he has enough health, he can cast skills instantly. The only thing that seems normal is that when he releases his skills, he is still limited by the casting speed. It has the cover of Blood Asylum. Xinghe can unscrupulously release his bloodline skills in front of Qian Duo. And Qian Duo's perspective is like adding a filter. When I saw Xinghe's blood type skills, it looked like a water type skill. The only flaw is that Xinghe's water skill still retains the smell of blood. Ordinary people will smell the stench if they get too close. With the reduction of the life value of the fire pattern Red Mandrill King, the power of Xinghe's bloodline skills gradually strengthened. The life value that was taken away from the fire-patterned Red Rill King turned into rivers of blood, pouring into Xinghe's back continuously. -1,000, -4,000, -6,700. The lost health points floated up above the head of the fire-patterned Scarlet Drill King as substantial numbers. Seeing the blood bar of the Hwaun Scarlet Drill King gradually becoming empty, Xinghe began to feel disappointed. This mutated fire-pattern Red Mandrill King is not as strong as the White Jade Bone Dragon. However, this is also because his level has become higher and the skill damage has been greatly increased. Roar! Roar! The mutated fire-patterned Red Rill King howled in pain. After all, it is the king of the clan, and it is a rare mutation evolution, which is somewhat capable. In the brink of death, there is still room for struggle. At this moment, it is in extreme pain. Watching his life value decrease, the feeling of powerlessness made him despair from the bottom of his heart. It really wanted to kill the human in front of it. It was just born, and before it showed its strength to humans, it was restrained by the ants in front of it. This weird attack fell on it, so weak that it couldn't resist. Why can't this despicable human being have a real fight with it? This boss, it looks a little weird. Just now he looked anemic, but now he looks like he has taken a tonic. Duo looked at Xinghe, whose face was flushed and extremely refreshed. Several water streams spiritually surrounded Xinghe and the mutated fire pattern Red Mandrill King. Why does this water skill look a little weird? Duo, as a young master in Gasa City, has far more knowledge than ordinary professionals can compare. He had never seen such a weird water skill. When fighting monsters, it is not the kind of earth-shattering scene. Bosses and monsters, just go there. The blood volume of the leader monster who was not moving in place dropped rapidly. Moreover, this boss seems to have a distorted personality. With the strength of the big brother, he can obviously kill the mutated fire-patterned Red Mandrill King in an instant. But the big brother chose to use this method of torture to kill it. Isn't he really a pervert? Could this be why he came to this low-level area? The upgrade was just an excuse for him. His real purpose is to come here to kill monsters. Seeing the skinny and mutated fire-patterned Scarlet Drill King, he confirmed his guess even more. Hiss. Thinking of this, Duo gasped, and the fat on his cheeks trembled. This boss is not a pervert. If I tell what I saw today, the boss will definitely not let me go. If I was caught by him, I would definitely lose my fat body. If I don't have this fat body, how can I have the face to go out to meet people? Isn't that smashing the signboard that we live for this guy? As Duo thought about it, tears began to flow from his small mung bean-sized eyes. His heart began to complain. I, Duo, have been doing good deeds all my life, how could I meet a pervert? I thought I was lucky enough to find a big guy who could hold thick legs. But I didn't expect that this boss turned out to be a pervert. Is this the eccentricity of the strong that Papa once said? Woo woo woo. Why hasn't my family come to rescue me yet? They're all a bunch of idiots who can only show off their food. At this moment, Duo completely panicked. He never expected that the boss he picked up would be a disaster. Duo found out that he might die soon. He felt that he could not be a starving ghost. Even if death is imminent, I have to eat until I am full. Although I don't know if the boss will really attack himself. But he also has to take precautions. Before the Huayan Scarlet Drill King was sucked dry. He wants to seize this precious time and eat more delicacies that he wants. Aware of the urgency of time, Duo moved from the portable space. He took out a large number of snacks and piled them on the ground. Holding back the urge to cry out loud, she sobbed and shed tears. Started to eat and drink silently. Xinghe, who was enjoying with his eyes closed, suddenly smelled the aroma of gourmet food. After sniffing a few times, it was confirmed that it was not a hallucination. He opened his eyes and saw Duo sitting cross-legged on the ground beside him, eating and drinking. Yes. Fatty is still smart. I have already forgotten that after joining the company, there is an additional 40% experience that can be enjoyed. Xinghe's eyes lit up, and he snatched the fat house happy water that Duo was about to pour into his mouth. Put it in your mouth and drink it in a big gulp. Duo was robbed, staring blankly at Xinghe, who gulped down the fat house happy water. The last line of defense in my heart is broken. Boss, you won't even let me be a dead ghost. I'm a ghost and I won't let you go. Duo looked at Xinghe sadly and said. What are you talking nonsense about? Xinghe looked at Duo who was crying into tears in bewilderment. What kind of nerves is this fat man suddenly having? Squeak. 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 Just when Xinghe was surprised by Duo's behavior. From the walls of the cave, the roar of dense baboons. There are several bright openings on the wall. Countless fire-patterned red rills walked out of the aperture. In the blink of an eye, Xinghe and Duo were surrounded by the fire-patterned red rill group. Every fire-patterned red rill, even if it is stooped, is 2 meters tall. The high and raised muscles of their bodies demonstrate their extraordinary strength. There are so many fire-patterned red rills crowded together. The ferocious aura overflowing from his body distorted the air in the cave. Ding! When the mutated fire-patterned Red Rill King was dying, his soaring resentment attracted all the fire-patterned Red Rills in the Sunset Mountain range. Warn! The space has been affected by the resentment of the mutated fire-patterned Red Rill King, and no means of teleportation can escape. Xinghe, who was besieged by the Huayan Scarlet Drill, didn't show any panic on his face. Ha ha ha! I didn't expect this mutated fire-patterned Red Rill King to play a little role before he died. Attracting so many fire-patterned Red Rills, it saves me from running around on this mountain. Xinghe grinned and couldn't help laughing maniacally. Chapter 32. He let go of the shriveled and mutated fire-patterned Red Rill King. Throw it, dying, on the ground. Clap! The mutated fire-patterned Red Rill King fell to the ground, and the sound he made all the fire-patterned Red Rills roar in unison. Roar! 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 Xinghe looked around, blood flashed in his eyes. Elite Fire Emblem Red Drill, Rage, Level, Leave 55 Life Point, 50,000 to 50,000 Magic Power, 25,000 to 25,000 Power, 335 Agility, 347 Intelligence, 276 Skills, Bone Crushing Fist, Multiplier of Strength, Bronze Rigid Iron Bone, Violent Chi Wave Introduction. Because of the death of the Huayan Chi Drill King, the Huayan Chi Drill group's anger was aroused, and they vowed to fight with you forever. Warning, the fire-patterned Red Rill, whose reason was burned by anger, evolved into an elite, and his individual strength increased by 5 times. The elite fire-pattern Red Mandrill individual is also extremely strong. Every elite fire-pattern Red Mandrill, the hostility on the body, condenses into substance. Countless elite fire-patterned Red Rills let out their breaths and slowly pressed towards Xinghe and Qianduoduo who were in the center of the cave. Under this mortal situation, even if one came today, an adventure group of 100 people who was about to be promoted to the company, would only end in annihilation and hatred. Facing the beast-sea tactics of the elite fire-patterned Red Rill group, even breaking through is an extravagant hope. What a big scene! Xinghe looked at the darkness around him, his eyes were full of excitement. The desire to kill is getting higher and higher. Close your eyes, cover your mouth and nose, and come closer to me. He turned his head to look at Qianduoduo, who was paralyzed on the ground and turned into a puddle of meat mud in fright. Whoa! I haven't eaten enough yet. When Qianduoduo heard Xinghe's request in panic, his heart collapsed even more. Is this going to attack me? He looked at Xinghe beggingly. Hurry up! Don't blame me for not being able to protect you for a while. This foodie, it's already this time, why do you still want to eat? Xinghe couldn't help shouting sharply, raised his hand and flicked Qianduoduo and his brain collapsed. The boss finally showed his true colors. Qianduoduo was immediately frightened by the angry Xinghe, covered his head, and moved to Xinghe's feet with a face full of grief and indignation. Xinghe looked at his feet speechlessly, and Qianduoduo looked deathly at home. What is this fat man doing? Since entering the cave, it has behaved wrongly. Could it be that the fat man was stunned by the fall? However, it is also understandable that it is normal to be afraid in the face of so many fire-pattern Red Mandrills. But the behavior of the fat man is really unmanly. At this time, a real man should pick up his weapon and fight to the death. The fat man was fine, and lay down on the ground. Give up resistance directly, put on a look of being slaughtered. Close your eyes. Cover your nose. Does the boss not want me to die too painfully? Qianduoduo was puzzled. I was very resistant in my heart, but my body was very honest, and I did what Xinghe asked. Not reconciled, he opened his fingers to reveal his nose and eyes, secretly observing Xinghe's movements. He saw Xinghe raise his arm slowly. The boss is the boss, killing this group of baboons without even bothering to pull out a staff. He only had time now to carefully look at the violent fire-patterned chidril around him. Is the boss a little overbearing? These baboons look a little different now, don't they? Even a high-ranking powerhouse of destiny is somewhat powerless in the face of so many fire-patterned Red Rills. Under suspicion, Qianduoduo temporarily forgot his fear of death. Crash! Crash! In the sealed cave, there was a sudden sound of water flowing. Where is the sound of water coming from? By the way, the boss is a water magician, he wants to drown me. Why is the sound of water getting louder? Which attack skill is this among the water skills? Qianduoduo began to panic again. Although he is a chef, his knowledge is far beyond that of ordinary professionals. He has his own unique vision for judging the level of mage skills. Now there is only the sound of water splashing in the cave. Not a drop of water can be seen. But all fools know that this is the prelude to a powerful skill. It's not as simple as just listening to it. After the baptism of several big scenes, Qian Duo didn't know how many times he was numb. A large lump of flesh was limp on the ground, and his whole body was so soft that he couldn't move a single finger. Not peeing his pants is his last dignity. Outside the cave. Here it is. Hurry up and use the space scroll to make a hole. Someone may be there first. Let's hurry up and go in. Here is the location where the coordinates are sent on the public frequency. The king level monster is here. Let's go. Get the first kill. I want both fame and fortune. Ha ha ha. Outside the monster lair where Xinghe and Qian Duo are. One after another figure came galloping. Some people can temporarily control the air with the help of flying scrolls. Some people use it as the only acceleration skill, leaving after images everywhere they go. Some even drove mountain bikes on the Sunset Mountain range with complex terrain, driving at extreme speed like walking on flat ground. The ways of traveling may be different, but they all have expressions of fanaticism beyond words. That is the desire for fame and fortune. Ever since the guild released news about the refresh of king-level monsters on the public frequency, many companies and adventure groups took action one after another as if they had been beaten with chicken blood. Everyone has strong self-confidence, and they all believe that the first kill of a king-level monster belongs to their own company alone. Before rushing to the Sunset Mountains, they all took out their treasures from the bottom of the box, preparing to fight a king-level monster. Where is the water pipe leaking? Shi Peng of Yunshan Company arrived at the target location first because he was the closest. He is also the fastest person to use a space scroll to open a space hole. With a puzzled face on his face, he listened sideways to the sound coming from the space crack. Suddenly, his face changed drastically, and he said in horror, "No. Someone inside may be using taboo-level props." The magical fluctuations leaking out of the gap in the space made the faces of the people near the gap horrified. Damn it! Who is so ruthless? Come up and magnify your moves. This is too urgent. Rumble. The sound of rushing water before has changed, and it is as violent as 10,000 horses galloping. The cave where Xinghe was located was opened several openings one after another by several companies using space scrolls. Xinghe found out that someone might rush in. Decisively stop accumulating energy and release the river of blood that has been accumulated for a long time. The amount of blood river depends on the total amount of health. A drop of health equals 1 cubic meter of blood. Most of Xinghe's health, plus the health of the mutated fire-patterned red mandrill king, is his total blood river this time. Boom! The space around Xinghe and Qian Duo immediately opened several big holes. Like opening a sluice to release a flood, the river of blood burst out from the mouth. But a few breaths of time. In the blink of an eye, the empty cave turned into a sea of blood. But in Qian Duo's eyes, it was normal sea water. Is this a water-type taboo item? Who is so rich? The lethality of water skills is considered medium. This is the reason why everyone didn't hide from the edge when they discovered that someone was using a large-scale damage tool in the cave. They are confident they can resist it. It's just a mere water system skill. How much water can come? Have the ability to drown the man. Just when they were weighing whether to step into the cave immediately, a scene that they will never forget happened. Chapter 33. Boom. 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 The movement as if the sky was falling dispelled their thoughts of rushing into the cave under pressure. The appalling noise was just the beginning of the big drama. The cracks in the space just opened by the big companies have also become drain holes. Due to the turbulence of the water, the opening was small. The water leaking from several space cracks is like a high-pressure water gun. All the people who are closest to the space crack are rushed out. On the Sunset Mountain range, within a few breaths, a river with a width of 10 feet appeared. Many professionals are struggling together in the river. Rumble. Rumble. The sound of thousands of galloping horses resounded throughout the Sunset Mountain range. The rushing water of the river, the splash of water, slapped on the rocks. What kind of water is this riding horse? Why is it so fishy? The unlucky guy who was lucky enough to climb to the shore retched after complaining. Relying on their last remaining strength, they climbed to a high place. What makes them terrified is, the moment they fell into the water, they smelled a stench. The stench entered his nostrils, his brain was dizzy for a while, and he couldn't use his strength. When everyone was lucky enough to survive, the entire Sunset Mountain range was filled with ocean. The professional who was flying in the sky was also fainted by the stench and fell into the river. The entire Sunset Mountain was full of people crying for help and miserable wailing. Everyone rescued themselves or was rescued, each of them was pulled up to a high place, limp on the shore like a dead fish, and their minds went blank. Obviously everyone came here happily, how did it become like this? Crash! Crash! Although the water was not as turbulent as before, the river filled the entire Sunset Mountain range, and there was a tendency for the river level to rise. Some observant professionals have noticed the changes that have taken place. Frightened and terrified retreated and fled, many people used both hands and feet regardless of their image. Run! The water level of the river is rising. If you fall, you may not be able to get up. While running away, he reminded his teammates and colleagues loudly. What's going on? All the people present were weak in hands and feet. His eyes stared blankly, the scene in front of him was like a doomsday scene. Most of the professionals here are in a state of residual blood. If he fell into the smelly river again, he would definitely be dead, and he would definitely not be able to climb out. Those who knew they came to the Sunset Mountains, those who didn't know thought they came to the seaside. What kind of water is this? Once we are infected, the health value will drop visible to the naked eye. Nima, is also one of the best water mages in Xinghe City. I've never encountered such a weird water skill. And the water has a fishy smell. If I close my eyes, I even think it's blood. Which strong man is this who has come up with such outrageous skills? Xinghe, the chief water mage of Chrysanthemum Company, murmured. At this time, he looked like a drowned chicken, and he looked very miserable. No one would believe a water mage with such an appearance. Water mages are extremely resistant to water skills, and low-level water skills can hit them. If you can wet your hair, it is considered a high skill damage. Although he is a man, he actually has a delicate and pitiful appearance at this moment. This is the consequence of joining the Chrysanthemum Company. Chrysanthemum Company corporate culture, crazy with friends. Crazy with friends, when teaming up with friends, the intimacy of friends can increase skill power by 150% and defense by 150%. Xinghe is also fortunate, if it is not for the bonus of the company's buff. With his mage's small body, I might become the first water mage in history to be drowned today. Who is this big guy? Why are you doing such a big thing in the Sunset Mountains quietly? Is there any secret in this Sunset Mountain range that we don't know? Looking at the tragic scene in front of him, all the professionals present were puzzled. They squatted in the Sunset Mountains every day. He knew everything about this place like the back of his hand, and there was no secret that could be kept from them. Run! Let's all be sloppy. This may be the boss's warning to us. Didn't you see that the water level is still rising? This is the way of life that the boss left for us. At this time, the military advisors in various companies began to express their own analysis. During the analysis by the military division, Shi Peng, who was closest to the fountain, climbed onto the shore at this time. Shi Peng is a well-known tough guy in Suzhou City. As soon as he was relieved, he didn't care about his face at all, and ran without saying a word. Under everyone's surprised eyes, Shi Peng went down the mountain without looking back. Seeing his movements, the others felt like they had just woken up from a dream. He no longer has any illusions about the big secret of the Sunset Mountains, and followed Shi Peng's footsteps to escape with both hands and feet. Leaving the Sunset Mountains, this is a place of right and wrong. This is what they most urgently want to do now. Now that there are big shots here, they will not tolerate it at all. They are ants, go to fight him for monsters. They are all respectable people in Xinghe City, and the reason why they have reached their current status is that they are not simple-minded people. Relying on knowledge. It depends on listening to advice. If he lost his life because of hesitation, how wronged it would be. Before the boss has changed his mind, just run away. Just when the high-level officials in Xinghe City fled in despair. 100 meters above the Sunset Mountains. Between clouds and mist. A middle-aged man with 14 white wings spread out. While waving its wings, it sprinkled sparkling stars. The 3-meter-high golden ratio figure is more perfect than Michelangelo's sculpture. The whole body is covered with bright armor, and the white and holy light flashes from time to time. Behind him, there is a halo of light, and the mist in the halo is churning, as if a world is being conceived. Between breaths, it caused the surrounding sea of clouds to turn. He hangs high in the air, gazing down at the sunset mountains below. Under. What a strong elemental fluctuation! Is that the doomsday flood of the water system? But the power doesn't seem to be enough. And you can smell a stench from far away. It is estimated that it is a skill that is self-realized by an unknown strong man. The middle-aged 14 Wings stroked his chin, thinking about everything that happened in the sunset mountains. In his eyes, there are shrinking galaxies slowly rotating, as if they contain the truth of heaven and earth. After a moment of silence, the middle-aged 14 Wings slowly analyzed, the biggest possibility is the new demon power. In other words, this has a great connection with the demons in Hypo City next door. But he's just a little too big, and it's completely different from the weird and cruel skill style of the demon Deo. It's really incredible. The middle-aged 14 Wings once again denied his guess, and reanalyzed what he saw. Forget it, I have to go to Hypo City to preside over the overall situation. For more speculation, we have to go to Hypo City to confirm it. This is Yan country, if I don't have enough confidence, I can't just make a move. The middle-aged 14 Wings withdrew his thoughts and flew towards Hypo City according to the original planned route. After he left, the Great Escape in the Sunset Mountains is still going on. Chapter 34. In a cave in the Sunset Mountains. The corner of Xinghe's mouth twitched into a smirk. His eyes, through the broken space crack, looked at the appearance of everyone fleeing. In the field of vision, it is also refreshing at the same time, killing information one by one. Congratulations to you for killing the mutated Fire Emblem Scarlet Drill King and gaining 32,456, plus 12,982, experience points. Congratulations on killing the Elite Fire Patterned Red Drill and gaining 10,000, plus 4,000, experience points. Congratulations on killing the Fire Pattern Red Drill and gaining 5,000, plus 2,000, experience points. Ding! Your level has reached level 50. Your level does not meet this area, please leave as soon as possible. Countless system prompts are refreshing in Xinghe's field of vision. After Xinghe released the blood river that had been accumulated for a long time, his experience bar grew at a rocket-like rate. From Leave 35, it is directly promoted to Leave 50, the requirement for awakening the title of Destiny. At Leave 50, because of Xinghe's level, he no longer meets the requirements of this area, and was prompted by the system to warn him to leave. No matter how many monsters he kills, he can no longer bring him experience growth. It is hard for ordinary people to imagine the situation of going up to more than 10 levels in one go. But for Xinghe, he has already made 2 level jumps before, so he is naturally used to it. He protected Qianduoduo and controlled the river of blood not to enter within 1 meter of himself. There was not a drop of blood in this meter of space. He couldn't help but think of the environment he was in now. It is similar to the underwater tunnel in the ocean world that I played when I was a child. At this moment, Xinghe and Qianduoduo raised their heads together, looking at the same cave as the aquarium. In the surrounding blood river, there are countless corpses of fire-marked red rills floating. Xinghe was slightly surprised, while Qianduoduo was covering his mouth desperately. I was afraid that I couldn't help vomit it out, and when the boss became disgusted, the boss would give him a happy meal. The reason why Xinghe was surprised. It's just that the amount accumulated in the blood river this time is somewhat beyond his imagination. It may be because of the fire-patterned red rill group. The amount of blood river that resulted in the exchange of life value was astonishingly large. This can no longer be called a river of blood, it is a sea of blood. Xinghe glanced at Qianduoduo, but didn't bother him first. Instead, focus on the few light clusters floating in the sea of blood. These are the treasures that fell from the fire-marked red rills that had just drowned. Xinghe grabbed a ball of light casually. Fire pattern red mandrill leather material. Fur introduction. The fur of the fire-patterned red rill clan contains fire elements, which can be used to make armor. He pinched the fur in his hand and felt the warmth from his palm. The temperature was not too high, which was very comfortable. This is the first time he has obtained it. After killing monsters, the dropped items are materials. And there are dozens of pieces of the same material as the fur floating in the sea of blood. After Xinghe received the fur into the portable space, he grabbed another light ball casually. Fire Pattern Flame Helmet, Level B, Category, Helmet Level Requirement, Level 45 Effect, HP plus 3000, Magic plus 1000, Strength plus 20 Durability, 100/100 Subsidiary Effect, Health increases the extra attribute by 5%. Subsidiary Effect, unyielding increases stun resistance. Suit effect, fire patterned red drills asylum collecting at least 3 parts of the suit can activate the suit effect, increase the body resistance by 200%, increase the body size by 50%, and the effect lasts for 20 minutes. Fire pattern flame armor, level B, category, tops level requirement, level 45 effect, HP plus 3000, strength plus 40 durability, 100/100 subsidiary effect, strong wall increases physical resistance. Suit effect, fire patterned red drills asylum collecting at least 3 parts of the suit can activate the suit effect, increase the body resistance by 200%, increase the body size by 50%, and the effect lasts for 20 minutes. Fire pattern flame belt, level B, category, belt level requirement, level 45 effect, strength plus 20, dexterity plus 60 durability, 100/100 subsidiary effect, durable increases the duration of the gain effect. Suit effect, fire patterned red drills asylum collecting at least 3 parts of the suit can activate the suit effect, increase the body resistance by 200%, increase the body size by 50%, and the effect lasts for 20 minutes. Because of the agreement before going up the mountain, Xinghe didn't need to ask for Qianduoduo's opinion, and directly received the dropped equipment into the portable space. Only then did Xinghe understand why the major companies controlled the entrance to the Sunset Mountains. The quality and probability of the items dropped here are comparable to those in the Jade Dragon secret realm. It's not an exaggeration to say that it's almost like a small secret place. And it's still a secret realm with no time limit. Experience, materials, suits. Countless items can be produced here, which naturally attracts many companies who stay here and don't want to leave. After Xinghe finished collecting, the harvest will be counted out this time. In addition to hundreds of pieces of armor materials, there are also 45 pieces of C-level equipment, 9 pieces of B-level equipment, and 1 A-level item. What's interesting is that Xinghe got all the fire-patterned red drills asylum set of equipment the first time he came. And the number of sets is just right, not too many and not too few. Judging from the bonus power attribute, this suit is for fighters. Among the attributes on the suit, the only thing that attracted Xinghe was the 50% body size increase effect. According to the Blue Star Big Data report, male professionals have an extraordinary obsession with the pursuit of running fast and bigger equipment. To Xinghe's disappointment, none of the mage skill books he longed for had been revealed. But it is also understandable, if the explosion rate of the skill book is really high, he can buy it directly at the Yida Trading Center. And the item with the highest item level turned out to be a sheepskin scroll. It has a magic seal on it, showing unidentified items. Xinghe was also looking forward to it. Wouldn't this be the legendary treasure map? Excitedly, he directly operated the God's Eye of Blood Demon, staring at the sheepskin scroll in his hand. Blood flashed in his eyes. Monkey Wine, Grade A, Category, Drinks Professional Requirements, Chef Level Requirement, Leave 50 Effect, gives the user fire damage. Effect, let the user enter a runaway state, increase attack power, defense power and attributes by 400%, and after 30 seconds, enter a weakened state for 6 hours. Xinghe felt a little speechless. He thought what he got was a treasure map for good luck. But I didn't expect that after the appraisal, what I got was a recipe. This made him feel extremely lost in his heart. He is not a chef by profession, this recipe is useless to him. Chapter 35. According to the Blue Star Time, it is now night outside. But in the Sunset Mountains, there is still a constant sunset scene. Since experiencing a weird flood during the day, no one dared to stay here. Sunset Mountains naturally became quiet, no longer the usual bustling scene. At the same time, in the cave where the mutated fire-patterned Chadril King was born, Xinghe continued to count the items dropped after killing the fire-patterned Redril group. This is indeed a paradise above Leave 35. Although the monster is very ferocious, the chance of dropping items is one of the best. It's no wonder that big companies are stationed here. They can upgrade and make a fortune. Who wouldn't like this kind of thing that kills 2 birds with 1 stone? This time I have gained a lot, and I will make another fortune after I go back. However, I can't be complacent. I must keep a low profile, otherwise I will be targeted by the boss. There must be a life to earn, but no life to spend. What is different this time is that when the equipment is released, it is also accompanied by a large amount of materials. Although the materials were not very valuable, and it was still far from a finished piece of equipment, it couldn't hold back Xinghe's large amount of explosions. In less than half an hour, the fire-patterned Red Rill clan on the Sunset Mountains was wiped out. The income from dropped items and materials is more than a company's hard work for a year. The number of items is actually quite a lot, if it weren't for Xinghe's portable space being large enough. Some less valuable materials can only be thrown here. Mosquito legs are also meat. This is the virtue that Xinghe has always upheld. Go back and find a way to embark on the path of my destiny. I don't know if I can finish this matter successfully before trouble comes to my door. Xinghe looked at the objects and materials piled up in the portable space, silently thinking about what he should do next. He thinks clearly now. He was not dazzled by this huge harvest. His career was destined to take a bloody road. If given the choice, he also wants to be a good person. But in the current situation, his requirements are not high, he just wants to live. As for the life of being rich and powerful, he never thought about it. The only thing he can do now is to frantically improve his strength before the Justice League finds him. And even more low-key than before not having enough strength. Only by staying alive can we live long. Once one day, he has the strength to negotiate at the table, the other party will no longer be able to squeeze himself at will. If you are not strong enough, you will be caught by the opponent. In his final end, he could only be locked up in a small dark room by the big forces and be the donkey of the production team. In that case, why not go to the pool party at Rose Company? Snapped. In the silent cave, a slap rang out. Damn, seriously think about the way to survive. How can I be distracted by bikinis? Damn it. Realizing in time, Xinghe, who was thinking in a wrong way, decisively slapped himself to wake himself up. He shook his head violently a few times, returning to his senses. Suddenly, he was attracted by the sound of an electric drill. His eyes immediately fell to the side. Duo was snoring on the ground. Damn it! How did this fat man fall asleep? The snore is as big as an electric drill. Whose young master can raise him like this? Xinghe said speechlessly. Now that the harvest has been counted, the next thing is. Each went back to each house, each looking for each mother. He kicked Duo with his toes. Hey! Wake up! You get up first, pick something you want, and then we'll go down the mountain and go home. Everyone takes what they need. This is the agreement he made with Duo before going up the mountain. He will never forget what Xinghe promised himself. Without a lot of money, he would never be able to reach the top of the mountain, let alone gain so much. And the experience gain buff of Food for Heaven is also the reason why he rose to leave 50 so quickly. In any case, he is very grateful to this somewhat nervous fat man. Even if the fat man wanted to take more, Xinghe believed that the other party deserved it. As for the fat man paddling all the way, Xinghe didn't care. Who made him just a cook? For non-combat professions, he can't have too high demands on others. Ah! No! Don't! Don't kill me! Duo bounced up like a hysteria. He accidentally saw the Leave 50 on his panel in his field of vision, which made him startled. In my lifetime. Can I still reach Leave 50? Because he is Xinghe's teammate, this time he also got a lot of credit, and his level went up to Leave 50. The difficulty of leveling up life occupations is 10 times that of combat occupations. The only benefit brought about by the level improvement of their life occupations is Constitution got better and able to handle some high-level materials. Since the upgrade is not cost-effective, it cannot bring them considerable benefits. Life professionals are most keen on improving their professional skills proficiency. The things of fighting and killing are left to those rough people. The bounden duty of their life professionals is to make Blue Star even better. If you want to improve the skill proficiency of life occupations, you can only rely on diligent practice and a flash of inspiration that you can't meet but you can't ask for it. But it is undeniable that reaching level Leave 50 is also a prerequisite for life professionals to embark on the path of destiny. Boss! Boss, are you going to do something? Duo stammered and asked with trembling lips. As Xinghe's closest person, he witnessed everything that happened from beginning to end. The shock and fear he received were more direct and intense than those professionals who fled outside. The broken corpses and broken limbs flying all over the sky. Money guaranteed. He has seen countless horror movies, but none of them have the blood in front of him. This level of gore is beyond human imagination, okay? Although he has a lot of money, he is a bit fatter. But not an idiot, okay? He can know it with his stomach. In front of him was a handsome guy who looked a little anemic. He is no ordinary boss. It's the hidden giant in the Dao of demons. He felt that when he sneaked out, it must be because he was not full. He was so hungry and dizzy that he could do such a stupid thing. It is my luck to meet the evil demon Dao giant. He just wants to beg now, the giant can treat him like a fart and let him go. Your brain, did you hit it just now? Why should I kill you? Only then did Xinghe realize that the reason why the fat man behaved uniquely was because of his fear of himself, fearing that he would kill him. Then why is your skill just now so weird? Duo took the courage to express his doubts, and wanted Xinghe to give him a reasonable explanation. Xinghe stared at Duo with his big eyes, but sighed in his heart. After all, he was exposed, and the only choice was to kill someone to silence him. After struggling for a moment, he dropped this, some outrageous idea. After all, he is not a person who kills indiscriminately, and he cannot attack someone who has not harmed him. Hurry up and finish picking things, let's get out of here. Xinghe said lightly. Duo looked around when he heard the words, and all he saw were severed limbs and remains. At this time, he couldn't bear it anymore and vomited. Chapter 36. Fortunately, Xinghe dodged in time, otherwise a lot of vomit would splash on him. While Duo was throwing up, he began to think seriously. Xinghe also knows. His identity as a terrorist will be exposed one day. Exposure is only a matter of time, killing is not the answer to the problem. Even if he kills a fat man, can he still kill all the people in the world? But he couldn't easily let the fat man go back. In order to try his best to ensure his own safety, he decided to fool this fat man. Old Jian, you have misunderstood me. If I really wanted to kill you, I would have done it long ago. Why did I delay until now? Xinghe sighed, looking at Duo helplessly. Ah! The sudden intimate address made Duo startled. The tension also suddenly eased. Boss, your skills, it seems. Duo faltered and said. He wanted to clear up the doubts in his heart, but he was also afraid of angering the boss in front of him, so he could give him a good time. Seeing Duo, Xinghe couldn't help being a little amused. Mung Bean's big eyes are full of curiosity and desire to survive. This is my newly realized skill. Water magic, the technique of the big washing machine. Xinghe said slowly. Duo looked at Xinghe in disbelief, he didn't expect to hear such an outrageous answer. That's right, it's also the first time I've used this skill in actual combat. Sorry, I scared you a little. Xinghe apologized and bowed slightly to Duo. The appearance of sincerity does not seem to be lying. The technique of the big washing machine. Duo's heart turned upside down. I wipe. There is such a skill? Although this skill sounds a bit outrageous. But in cooperation, the scene I saw with my own eyes just now. There is indeed a great similarity between a corpse stirring in the water and washing clothes in a washing machine. The name The Art of the Big Washing Machine is very appropriate. It just sounds a bit earthy. It sounds like a newly made name, but with such a powerful skill, I think the boss will not joke with himself. The only explanation is that this skill really has this name. As expected of a boss, he can realize his skills by himself. Only the strong in the realm of destiny can realize their own skills. Hiss. Thinking of this, Duo gasped. Realize that you may have made a huge mistake. It seemed that I might have misunderstood him, and almost misunderstood such a genius. Duo began to blame himself. Such an awesome boss might want to come here to relax. Out of good intentions, I took my little party dish to upgrade. When in danger, the boss also saved his own life. The boss is not mean to himself. I still have malicious speculations about the boss. I really deserve to die. What a disgrace to the people of Gasua City, for not letting the bosses appreciate the enthusiasm of the people of Gasua City. I, Duo, have been doing good deeds all my life, and I finally met a kind-hearted boss, but I am still not sure about it. Damn me. At this moment, Duo began to think about it, and the self-blame and regretful self-criticism had already been written down in his heart. Xinghe watched, blaming himself for a lot of money, and his face was wrinkled with worry. He smiled and said, okay. This time our purpose of going up the mountain has been achieved. I have more important things to do next. After sending you down the mountain, let's say goodbye. With that said, he helped Duo up from the ground. She also slapped him intimately to remove the dust on his clothes. Duo looked at the big man with an amiable appearance, and felt even more guilty in his heart, not knowing what to say. Just keep apologizing, I hope Xinghe doesn't care about him. Old Jian, this skill is my bottom line. I hope you don't talk about it with outsiders when you go back. Xinghe breathed a sigh of relief, it seemed that the fat man had been fooled by him. But I still asked him, don't talk nonsense when you go back. Boss, don't worry. I won't talk nonsense when I go back. Duo patted his chest a few times, and said proudly. Compared with him who was just scared to the ground with his arrogant appearance, he was a completely different person. Xinghe nodded, and didn't talk to him anymore. After all, too much talk is bound to be lost. And he still has to hurry up and get busy with the awakening of his destiny. Xinghe and Duo talked and laughed, and walked to the exit of the Sunset Mountain range. On the interface in the field of view, click the quit button. After leaving the team. Just about to leave, Xinghe seemed to remember something and asked, Old Jian, are you a cook? Yes. Duo was also taken aback for a moment, I was dressed so clearly, the boss still asked questions knowingly. This is for you. I guess you can use it. This time I went up the mountain with me, I can't let you go for nothing, after all, you didn't take anything with me. Xinghe recalled that in his portable space, there was still an A-level formula lying there. This recipe for monkey wine might be useful to a cook like Duo. A-level items all have a high price, instead of exchanging them for money, it is better to give them a lot of money as compensation. After all, he was fooled by himself, and he felt a little sorry in his heart after all. He took out the sheepskin scroll from his portable space. After Duo took it from Xinghe, he opened the scroll in his hand suspiciously. The moment the scroll was opened, Duo's eyes were dazzled by the golden light for a while. Then the whole person froze. Is this the A-level formula monkey wine? Rare on the market, a grade formula. This thing is at least a few 100 million, right? The boss is like this, without blinking, just throw it to him? Boss. This thing is too expensive, you must not give it to me. Clutching the scroll tightly in his hand, Duo repeatedly refused. The boss may not know the importance of this formula. Once the monkey liquor is produced and appears in the Yangguo market, it is bound to change the current situation of domestic alcoholic beverages. Their Food for Heaven company can rely on this formula to leap from a gold power to a Bajan power. It can be said that the price of this A-level formula cannot be simply measured in federal currency. Duo solemnly told Xinghe the importance of this recipe. Hee. After hearing this, Xinghe just let out a light hee. He raised his hand and patted Duo's shoulder a few times, turned around and disappeared into the dense forest without saying anything to him. Duo froze in place, thinking carefully about the word hee. He looked at Xinghe's hazy back by the moonlight, and suddenly wanted to understand something. Boss, this is treating me like a brother. He burst into tears and fell to his knees. He raised his fat hand high and slammed the ground hard, until his fleshy hand was flushed red. He cried regretfully, Boss. You treat me like a brother, but I suspect you. Damn me. If it weren't for the real touch of the parchment scroll from his hand, Duo would have thought that he was dreaming. The boss is definitely not a person of the evil way. How could a person in the evil way spare his own life and give him such a precious gift? Moreover, Duo has accumulated virtue and done good deeds all his life, so it is definitely impossible for him to meet those monsters in the way of evil spirits. When Xinghe was about to disappear from Duo's eyes blurred by tears, he suddenly yelled, Boss! I don't know your name yet. My name is Xiang Yun. Xinghe's flat tone came from afar. Red. Qi Yanjiun. Big Brother's name is really extraordinary, so mighty and domineering. How can such a masculine and domineering person be a person of the evil way? Duo looked into the depths of the forest with firm eyes full of admiration. Gilu. There was a sound from his stomach. Duo frowned, damn it. Why hasn't anyone come to the house yet? Could it be that I forgot about this young master? I'd better go back quickly, or I won't be able to catch dinner any later. With that said, Duo walked towards Xinghe and left in the opposite direction. Chapter 37. On the outskirts of Gasui City. Because he couldn't get a ride, Xinghe had to tear off the speed scroll and walk to the city center. Running fast, thinking in my heart. He was very fortunate that Jianduoduo couldn't see his specific information because of Blood Asylum. But Jianduoduo suddenly opened his mouth and asked his name. Naturally, he couldn't tell the other party his real name. The current compilation is not realistic. For some reason, he subconsciously blurted out the name Xianjiun. He's happy with the name, it sounds like it fits his temperament. He decided to use Xianjiun as his pseudonym when he came out to walk the rivers and lakes in the future. The speed scroll is really easy to use, I must prepare more next time. Xinghe was thinking about it. Although it is extravagant to use this scroll to travel, it is really easy to use at critical times. If you can't hit the car, if you don't have a quick scroll. He estimated that he might not be able to return to Gasa City until dawn. It would be great if Yida could give me space skills in exchange. Flying wind skills and flying pets are also available. You can't buy a car. The control of the car is in the hands of a big company. If something happens to me one day, I'm afraid that the first one to betray me will be my car. The car will automatically drive to the old den. Xinghe was thinking in his heart, but he kept running towards the city. But now it seems that the explosion rate of the skill book is really not high. The Huayan Scarlet Drill clan in the Sunset Mountain range was slaughtered by himself without dropping a single skill book. If you deliberately brush the skill book, when you encounter a bad face, you may not be able to drop the skill book you want after squatting on the mountain for more than half a year. The only thing he can do now is to pin his hopes on the trading house. I hope they can give themselves a surprise as soon as possible. Xinghe flew along the expressway from the suburbs to Gasa City, and after half an hour, he finally returned to Gasa City again. He chose to go to the professional guild here to find his way to the destiny. How can the professional guild hall here become so deserted? Xinghe was quite puzzled by the scene here, but he was fine when he left. Why did it turn out to be as deserted as the guild in Hypo City when they came back again? Just when he was wondering. The two professionals who rubbed shoulders with him quickly attracted his attention. Have you heard? During the day, there was a flood in the Sunset Mountains. I heard from the employees of the big company that many of the bosses who went there almost drowned and couldn't come back. Damn it! Really? There will be a flood on the top of the mountain, aren't you kidding? It's true. Many people also uploaded the video of the flood at that time on the internet, and now it's on the headlines of the hot searches. How could it be fake? Hiss, this is not a joke. What happened to the Sunset Mountains? According to the employees of those big companies, during the competition for king-level monsters this time, someone used taboo-level props on the mountain. FK. Taboo-level props? Is this an anti-aircraft gun to kill mosquitoes? Just a 50-level king-level monster, just smash it with taboo-level props. Whose black sheep is this? No one knows about this person. When he was about to get close to the monster's lair, there was a flood immediately. At that time, everyone was busy running for their lives. Who would care to look at it? Who put the props? That's true, it's my life that matters. As long as you know who used the props, it may not be a good thing. However, I heard that it probably has something to do with Hypo City next door. Not long ago, two major incidents happened there. Both of them attracted the high-level officials of the Light God sect to come down to investigate. I've heard of what you said. But the thing that can make the Light God sect go online, in this world, there is probably only the way of demons. Xinghe slowly followed behind the two, listening carefully to all their conversations. The melons the two of them ate were directly related to Xinghe. But when the two of them mentioned the Light God sect, Xinghe frowned. It sucks. It seems that the trouble I caused is not small, and it has already attracted the attention of the Light God sect. Wouldn't it be the white-bearded old man who peeped at me when I first used Blood Demon Divine Eye and regarded me as a demon? He and the head teacher reported it. Xinghe's heart sank, and he realized that something was wrong with the development of the matter. The Light God sect hates evil like a vengeful enemy. If it really targets it, it will never have peace. Well, what are you afraid of? What he was most worried about was still about to happen. The only thing he can do now is to awaken his destiny as soon as possible. Hearing the news discussed among passers-by, Xinghe felt that the time left for him was running out. He quickened his pace, overtaking the passers-by in front of him. Go straight to the paid counseling office in the guild. Because there are fewer people in the guild today, there is no need for Xinghe to queue up as usual, which undoubtedly saves him a lot of time. Xinghe found himself, and sat down at the number 7 consultation port he liked. After sitting down, I couldn't wait to start asking. Hello. I want to awaken destiny. Xinghe said bluntly. The staff in the window is a young girl with thick black glasses. Like Xinghe, she is probably a fresh graduate. She looked at the boy who was about her age in front of her in surprise. Such a young man is about to awaken his destiny. Do you awaken your destiny? Your professional level has reached level 50. The cute girl adjusted the frame of the mirror and stared at Xinghe with wide eyes. The handsome young man in front of him, although he looks a little anemic, is the sickly young man he likes. Thinking of this, the girl's cheeks began to turn red. Certainly. Xinghe didn't care about why the girl blushed, and hurriedly answered. Then wait for me for a while. After the cute girl finished speaking, she ran to the room behind her. After a while, she held a bronze wooden box and went back to her window. She first poked her head out of the window and looked around. After finding that no one was paying attention here, he let out a heavy breath. She whispered to Xinghe, "This box is the Destiny Stone, just put your hand on it. Remember to be quick." Xinghe looked at the cute girl in surprise, and asked curiously, "You don't need to go through any procedures, can you wake me up yourself?" The cute girl looked nervous. "Hurry up. I think you are in a hurry. I won't follow the procedure for you. If you take the normal approval time, it will take at least 3 days." She urged urgently, even more urgently than Xinghe, the awakened master. "Oh, I see." Xinghe came to a sudden. Before he could thank the cute girl, the impatient and cute girl grabbed Xinghe's hand and pressed his hand to the Destiny Stone. Chapter 38. So soft hands. Xinghe's heart fluttered. Before he could recover, there was darkness in front of his eyes, and he came to an unknown pitch-black space. Ding! The familiar system sound sounded, and Xinghe gathered his energy and listened carefully to the next system instructions. The Destiny system is on. Start detection. The occupation of the current professional is Mage. The level of the current professional is level 50. Professional information has been approved, and the mission of Destiny will be released. At this time, Xinghe held his breath nervously. The next task would be related to his future. The task is as follows. In the pitch-black space, a blue light curtain suddenly lit up. But it has not waited for the light curtain to completely condense. The blue light curtain began to tremble violently. Damn it! Did you get a virus? Xinghe looked at what happened in front of him in shock. His worried heart was severely gripped. It couldn't be the end of his career, could it? Just when Xinghe was worried, the light curtain changed again. The blue light curtain twisted into blood red. The light curtain is full of cracks, and blood is still flowing from the gaps in the cracks. Is this broken? When the blood no longer oozes out, the light curtain has completely turned blood red. Xinghe approached the blood red light curtain in surprise. The blood red light curtain seemed to sense Xinghe's approach, and a reminder slowly appeared on the light curtain. Destiny Mission, Blood Research of Blood Mage Introduction. As a blood mage, your research on blood has reached its peak. If you want to break through the limit, you need the blood you desire to continue to study in depth. Task requirements: collect blood from 100,000 person times to complete a breakthrough in blood research. Time limit: 36 hours. Hint: if the time limit is exceeded, the task will automatically fail. Xinghe scratched his head in doubt, looking at the tasks on the panel. What's the situation? He was required to collect the blood of 100,000 people within 36 hours. This is not a joke. Xinghe was stunned. In this short period of time, where did he find 100,000 people? Wrong. Since the system gives this task, it is possible to complete it. If it is one of your own, tell the other party to give yourself a little blood, and the other party will definitely call the police and arrest him. Even if people allow themselves to collect blood, it is impossible to collect enough blood for 100,000 person times in just 36 hours. Unless they are voluntary, come to give themselves blood. Yes. They can automatically come and give themselves blood. A flash of inspiration suddenly appeared in Xinghe's mind, as if he had thought of something. If my idea is really feasible, the difficulty of this task is almost non-existent to me. In this world, let others willingly give their blood to themselves, and still grab it. The only way is to buy blood with money. Money is a good thing. Money can make ghosts grind the millstones. Isn't it easy to exchange money for some blood? Every time he came back from the field, the number on the account would be a few more digits. For Xinghe now, if a problem can be solved with money, is that still a problem? Krypton gold fiercely is over. After Xinghe had a plan in mind, he decisively tapped on the bloody screen to accept the task. Moment. Xinghe's eyes blurred, and the scene changed again. Back to the guild's consultation window again. Everything that just happened was like a dream. After Xinghe opened his eyes, the cute girl came into his eyes. She leaned in front of Xinghe and looked at him with concern. Are you okay? Is the task a bit troublesome? The cute girl asked worriedly. She also saw Xinghe's frequently changing expressions just now. She guessed that the task of destiny that Xinghe received might not be easy. Well. Xinghe felt that the distance between him and the cute girl was a bit ambiguous, so he moved back before opening his mouth to answer her. No, the task is very simple, it's just Krypton gold. Then do you have enough money? The cute girl asked with concern. While speaking, she took out her mobile phone and opened the balance interface to see if she was able to support Xinghe a little. Thank you for your convenience. I have something urgent to do, so I'm leaving first. After Xinghe and the cute girl greeted each other, they left quickly. Why? The cute girl came back to her senses, and Xinghe's figure had disappeared. She pouted her lips angrily, and she was so wronged that she was about to cry. Really, the contact information hasn't been exchanged yet. I wish I had known and asked him to fill out the form. It's all right now. I don't even know his name. Beep. After accepting the job transfer task, Xinghe went to the guild hall to announce the reward. Reward, in order to overcome the diseases of human blood. Qi Yanjiun, the master of blood research, please make a contribution to the progress and development of mankind. The task is as follows. Every professional who contributes 200 cubic centimeters of blood will be rewarded with 2,000 federal coins, limited to 100,000 person times. Come and contribute to mankind. Such an awe-inspiring mission, coupled with Xinghe's 1 million donation to the guild. The person in charge of the task release attaches great importance to it. Just give the task to Xinghe and pin it to the top of the task bar. Professionals who see this task will not be able to hold back their excited hearts. For the federal currency, no. For the development of all mankind, let's donate blood together. In a short period of time, through the transmission of the internet, in less than 10 minutes, the professional guild was already overcrowded. A 3-kilometer-long queue formed at the gate of the guild. Many professionals who were injured in the Sunset Mountains were in wheelchairs and crutches. He limped out of the hospital and joined the queuing army. Blood bottles are expensive medicines, and most professionals will save them for life-saving. When the situation is not critical, normal people will still choose to go to the hospital to slowly recover from their injuries. For them, they can't go to the wild to upgrade now anyway. Naturally, he would like to come to the guild to donate blood and get a stable income. But Xinghe did not see such a magnificent scene. After he released the reward task, he did not choose to wait in the guild to die. Instead, he chose to go to the Yida shopping center in Gasua City to deal with the harvest this time. Enter Yida Trading Bank. Xinghe showed the gold VIP card that Lao Wang had upgraded for him last time, and was immediately invited into the VIP room respectfully by the person in charge of the trading bank. Different from the black silk waiter last time, the waiter arranged for Xinghe by the trading house this time is a petite Cheongsam girl. Her eyes lit up when she saw Xinghe's handsome appearance. She smiled sweetly, "Dear gold users, our bank will meet all your needs." After speaking, Xiao Didi gave Xinghe a salute, and looked at him with big watery eyes, as if resigned. Xinghe looked at it indifferently. "I want to sell a batch of items in a hurry. Arrange for me right away." Xinghe, who is about to face a catastrophe, will not be in the mood to look at the flowers and plants on the side of the road. Chapter 39. Suzhou City. Yida Trading Co. The Cheongsam girl was slightly disappointed when she heard that Xinghe was only here to sell things. With a good professionalism, she still kept smiling. "Then how many pieces are you going to sell?" 45 pieces of sea-level equipment for Leave 45. Xinghe said calmly. With a wave of his hand, the VIP room was filled with sea-level items that exude a green light. There are also dozens of scarlet leathers piled up in the corner of the VIP room. What? The Cheongsam girl was taken aback, and covered her open mouth with her jade hand. Looking at the VIP room that turned into a warehouse in front of her, she couldn't believe her eyes. This is the first time she has seen such a scene since she worked. This is a big customer. Okay, okay. Please wait a little while, I'll ask our appraiser to estimate the value. The Cheongsam girl stammered, turned around and trotted out of the room. After a while, the Cheongsam girl ran back panting. With an apologetic face, she said shyly, I'm sorry, sir, the appraisers in the trading house are not here today. What kind of special day is today? When I came, I saw that the trading house was a little deserted. Xinghe frowned, wondering. Today? It seems that they all went to the guild to donate blood today, saying that they want to make contributions to mankind. The Cheongsam girl replied uncertainly. Xinghe was a little speechless after hearing this. It turned out that everyone was lured away by his bounty offer. It seems that I still have to hurry up and go back. I don't think it will take long before the blood of those 100,000 people will be collected. Then is there any other way, can I sell these things as soon as possible? Xinghe said helplessly. After thinking for a while, the Cheongsam girl said, there is a way. Sea-level equipment can be recycled at a uniform price in our bank. But in this way, you may suffer a little loss. Why don't you wait for the appraiser to come back? If she bought this batch of high-quality goods from Xinghe at the wholesale price, the commission she got would be enough to buy a large flat in the city center. For some reason, the handsome young man in front of her had an evil aura that attracted her deeply. Let her, but from the bottom of her heart, she doesn't want to cheat the boy in front of her. Xinghe smiled and waved his hands, saying that he didn't care, it's okay, just pay at that price. Seeing Xinghe being so persistent, the Cheongsam girl was unwilling to persuade her any further, and turned around to get a quotation from Xinghe. After the Cheongsam girl brought the quotation, Xinghe glanced at it casually and left it to her to handle it. Half an hour later, Xinghe sold the items and materials on the Sunset Mountains together, and sold them to Yida Trading for a package price of 20 million federal currency. On the price list, there was actually a price for the protection of the fire-patterned Chidril. The above price is still in line with his wishes. So he sold the B-level suit at a price of 30 million Federation coins. The suits were disassembled and sold. Because of the mediocre attributes of a single piece, they couldn't be sold for a big price, at most only 2 million federal coins. But once it's set up, it's priced at a 200% premium. This was somewhat beyond Xinghe's expectations, and it was a pleasant surprise for him. This trip to the Sunset Mountains finally brought Xinghe an income of 50 million federal coins, which was a worthwhile trip. After the transaction was completed, Xinghe declined the Cheongsam girl's proposal to exchange contact information. It's not that he is unreasonable, but that he can only try his best to keep a low profile and reduce the traces he left outside. Under the resentful eyes of his sister, he left Yida Trading Company. After that, he added a large number of scrolls in Yida shopping center, especially the good speed scrolls. It is estimated that the time is about the same when things are sold out and bought. Xinghe hurried back to the professional guild without stopping. Director Li, what's the progress of my reward? Xinghe walked to the task reward place, and asked the task leader Director Li, your timing is really accurate. I really want to inform you that your reward has been completed. Except for the 100,000 blood you requested. There are still a large number of enthusiastic citizens who volunteer to donate blood without getting a cent. In the end, the blood collected by the guild for you is worth 200,000 people. Director Li said with a smile. When I met Xinghe, a big benefactor, today, he was in a better mood than ever. So much. Xinghe was also taken aback, he had only left for an hour. His mission of destiny was completed like this. Let him feel like he is dreaming now. There are too many of those things, the guild has found a warehouse in the city. After you complete the formalities and pay the remaining fees, you can get the key to the warehouse. After finishing what Director Li instructed, Xinghe got the key to the warehouse where the blood was stored. Immediately, he couldn't wait to tear off the speed scroll, and rushed towards the location of the warehouse in the city. Xinghe could hardly contain the excitement in his heart. He knew from chatting with Director Li that it was the first time for a professional like him to receive a mission of destiny and complete the mission at the speed of light. It is simply unprecedented. People who are awakening for the first time, due to the difficulty of the task, are more or less likely to fail. Only by waiting for suitable and simple tasks can professionals awaken their destiny. But the amount of time it takes is different for everyone. Some people with a dark face will always receive a wonderful destiny. The day of awakening the destiny will become far away. Xinghe is also fortunate, although his task is wonderful. But with the help of his banknote ability, it was completed without any risk. 10 minutes after leaving the guild, Xinghe came to a warehouse in the eastern suburbs of the city. Following the number plate instructions on the keychain, he found his target warehouse without any difficulty. Use the key to open the warehouse door. A choking bloody smell rushed over. But this smell, which is disgusting to ordinary people, fell into Xinghe's nose, but it was the aroma of various fruits and desserts. Take a walk in the barn curry. Xinghe had a fascinated look on his face. It's so comfortable. This is simply his paradise. He didn't indulge in enjoying for too long, after counting the quantity. He called up the task panel with his mind, and decisively chose to submit the task. Ding! Congratulations on completing the mission of destiny. Completion, 200% mission evaluation, perfect. Task extra reward, destiny level +1. The awakening of destiny begins. After the system beep ends, the space of the warehouse suddenly cracked several big openings, like a vacuum cleaner, blowing up a strong wind. All the blood collected by Xinghe was sucked in. Xinghe's character panel began to drip blood. Not for a while. The entire panel was stained blood red. And the space crack didn't disappear after collecting the blood. Instead, it began to rotate, forming small space vortices one by one. Blood red mist filled the vortex, and soon filled every corner of the warehouse. Chapter 40. Suzhou City. East Warehouse. After Xinghe handed in the mission of destiny, King Curry began to change. From the space crack, the blood-red mist leaked out became thicker and thicker. Xinghe raised his hand, but couldn't see his fingers clearly. Sudden. Xinghe felt his body start to heat up. All the blood mist around him rushed into his body quickly. His body seemed to have turned into a bottomless pit. No matter how many blood mist there were, they all rushed towards him. Xinghe, who was wrapped in the blood mist, closed his eyes and slowly realized the comfort like taking a bath. The feeling of open pores made him fascinated and ecstasy, so comfortable that he couldn't help crying out. After an unknown amount of time, Xinghe absorbed all of Curry's blood mist. Xinghe seemed to be aware of it, and felt that the changes around him stopped. Eyelashes trembling slightly, he slowly opened his eyes, looked around the empty warehouse, and said lightly, "The movement is really not small. It seems that my destiny has been fulfilled, and the hanging heart has also let go a little." Xinghe was just about to take out his phone to see how long the time had passed. But when his eyes fell on his hands, his pupil shrank. His hands seemed to have undergone a remarkable change, becoming pale and slender, more beautiful than a woman's hands. Damn it! After awakening the destiny, can people still beautify themselves? Xinghe turned his wrist in disbelief, carefully examining his new hand. Correct. I just had a fever all over my body. Thinking of this, Xinghe took out the mirror from his portable space and took a look at his face. FK. 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 He exclaimed again and again, unable to believe that in the mirror, the handsome guy with sword eyebrows and starry eyes was himself. The widened eyes in the mirror were as bright as blood rubies. He is a big man, his skin has turned into icy muscles and bones, even better than a woman. What caught his attention the most was that his black hair turned blood red. The hair seems to have life, and it is automatic without wind. This change is too exaggerated, I almost can't recognize myself. Xinghe murmured. He suppressed the shock in his heart, and reluctantly put away the mirror. Open your character panel. Appearance doesn't matter to him. The most important thing is his character attributes. After the destiny, what kind of changes happened? Xinghe occupation, Tier 2 destiny, blood viscount level, leave 50 life, 100,000 mana, 50,000 to 50,000 strength, 1,205 agility, 1,648 intelligence, 1,169 available attributes, 0 title, 1000 people/Dragon Slayer Confused Heart Demon Algo. The profession has indeed become the title of destiny. And it's still the title of Western nobleman? Viscount. Xinghe looked at himself, a little surprised by the character panel that had undergone major changes. Noble? How can the name of a mage have anything to do with the rank of nobility? However, he thought that his blood mage profession had never appeared on Blue Star before, so naturally he couldn't explain it with common sense. After he was a little surprised, he stopped worrying about this question. After all, the title of destiny is just a name to him. What he values most is that the development path after the mandate of heaven will become clear. It is no longer the same as before, the fog is thick, and the river is crossed by feeling the stones. His gaze fell on the property panel. Because he is not wearing equipment now, that is to say, the attributes on his panel are all his basic values. The basic attribute can break through 1,000. It's really too strong. I have also seen a lot of Destiny, and their attributes don't seem to break through 1,000. The most important thing is that my blood volume has reached 100,000. This looks even more outrageous than the meat shield profession. On the whole, my attribute growth value far exceeds that of other professions. According to my estimation, although I am only at the 2nd level of Destiny now, I estimate that my panel will catch up with the professionals at the 4th level of Destiny. Xinghe looked at his attribute panel, and silently compared it with those Destiny professionals he saw in the Sunset Mountain range. You must know that the group of people he saw at that time were all wearing this full set of equipment. And now I am in a whiteboard state. Because the level rose too fast, he didn't study how to equip himself. It is conceivable how abnormal his actual combat power is. In his opinion, the hidden occupations and special occupations in the books are not as good as his occupation. After reading the attributes, his eyes fell on the title again. The extra confusion demon in the title column is very eye-catching. Deception demon, after many successful deceptions, the target has no doubts about you. As you fabricate more lies, you gain the ability to deceive people. Effect, when lying to the target, the chance of believing it is increased by 20%. Xinghe looked at his new title speechlessly. Lying can still get a title, sounds a little outrageous, doesn't it? Didn't I just deceive Xianjiun, President Su, Zhou Mu? Counting and counting, Xinghe's confidence is getting weaker and weaker. It seems that I have indeed deceived many people. He said in distress, this is all a white lie. Why did the system give me an award? Well, never mind, do whatever you want. As long as the system is happy. Then Xinghe was attracted by a civilization stick lying quietly in the portable space. It's just right, I'm level 50 now, and that A-level staff blood grip just happened to come in handy. The staff that Xinghe was thinking about was the A-level unidentified staff that broke out in the Jade Dragon secret realm before. After using Gorefiend God's Eye to identify it, I got a level 50 staff. Now that he has met the conditions, of course he needs to equip it urgently. Xinghe took out the staff from the portable space and got it in his hand. The numbers on his attribute panel skyrocketed crazily. He watched the changes in front of him with satisfaction, and then landed on the blood-red skill bar. When he opened the panel just now, he found that there were 2 more icons on his skill bar. Blood Burning, Blood War, are they all passive skills? Xinghe's eyes lit up. After awakening the Destiny, the 2 new skills added to the skill bar are blood-type passive skills. General professionals, whether fighters or mages. When normal professionals awaken their Destiny, they can only have 2 more active skills. Because the upper limit of passive skills is only 2. One is obtained when you change jobs after graduation. There is another one, which is obtained after using the passive skill book. When Xinghe awakened his profession, he had already automatically awakened one. In other words, in theory, he still has a slot for passive skills. But this time he awakened the Destiny, he broke this rule. In addition to the 2 passive skills of Awakening of Destiny, he has 3 passive skills alone. This is simply off the charts, okay. Chapter 41. When Xinghe's eyes fell on the skill bar, the details of the 2 passive skills are revealed. Blood Burning, passive skill, you are an immortal noble in blood, the more blood you lose, the stronger you will be. Blood War, passive skill, you are a nobleman who lives forever in blood, and the dignity of a nobleman cannot be challenged. Every time you lose blood, it will make you deal double damage. Xinghe thought for a moment. Look at the explanation of the skill. One is that the lower the damage, the higher the damage you will have. The other one, the meaning of double damage, is probably the same as the meaning of critical strike in the previous life. However, this world doesn't seem to have the term critical strike. Isn't that? In Xinghe's mind, he instantly thought of himself in his previous life. When playing online games, the thrill of a critical strike. When you are lucky, you are like a child with a knife. In layman's terms, it's equivalent to cutting directly on the enemy's main artery as soon as you make a move. Blood spurted out. Every time the computer screen, the number is red. The visual impact brought to people makes people excited. He couldn't help but imagine the scene when he started fighting with the enemy. Your mightiness? Can bear Ye Mao's knife? FK. That's too pretend. However, I seem to be a mage. After thinking carefully for a moment, he still calmed down. I can't be too inflated. If you really hit a critical strike, you still have to look at your face. If I'm a non-chief, with a black face, and I can't hit a critical strike after hundreds of hits, I will really be suffocated. You still have to be normal, and you can't think too good. Xinghe committed his old habit again, and started pacing, talking to himself. However, it is precisely because of this habit. Only then can he keep a good sense of proportion and not let his path go astray. Xinghe heaved a long sigh of relief. Now that I have embarked on the road of destiny, it can be regarded as the completion of a big goal. I can finally go home with peace of mind. After awakening his destiny, Xinghe added 2 new passive skills, and his confidence also increased a lot. The dark cloud that had been hanging over his head also parted slightly, and a ray of sunlight shone in. He plans to leave Xinghe City, and now this place is no longer suitable for him to develop. Go back to Hypa City first, and then make good plans for your future development. After embarking on the destiny, it is not the end. 9th Order of Destiny. One step at a time. Xinghe also knew that he was lucky. When submitting the task, he was judged to have overfulfilled. The extra reward of the task is to let him take an extra step on the ladder of the path of destiny out of thin air. Such good luck cannot be guaranteed every time. So he always warned himself that he must be down to earth next. Before catastrophe strikes, go as far as possible on the path of destiny. His class is uniquely Blood Mage. Future destiny missions will have more changes and uncertainties than other professionals. And his ability to cause trouble seems to have never been small. Xinghe rubbed his nose awkwardly, left the warehouse slowly, and rushed to the Xinghe City Professionals Association. Hypa City, by the sea. Because they wanted to welcome the big shots, this place was temporarily reserved by the Guangming God sect. In Hypa City's Guangming sect, all subordinate factions above the bronze level gathered at the seaside today. Against the strong sea breeze, waiting patiently for the upcoming big shot. Beachside. A middle-aged man in a white robe was reading a pious expression, holding a black leather Bible in his hand. He is the bishop of Guangming branch in Hypa City, Kong Nanyu. The Lady Yutong is dressed as a nun today, staring into the distance. At this time, she was completely different from her usual clothes. The original mature and charming appearance disappeared, and became serious and solemn. Behind the two of them, dozens of people followed each other, also wearing white robes and nun clothes. However, compared to Kong Nanyu and Yutong, these people were not so calm, and all of them could not hide the tension on their faces. They are all subsidiaries of the Guangming God sect, and they don't know how much their great-grandsons are. They have no preparations today, so they were called here to receive the big shots. Although they are all prominent figures in Hypa City. But at this time, they were all anxious and nervous, staring intently at the distant coastline. If the big man from above comes, he will just see himself acting like a fool. He frowned and nodded. Everything he had struggled for most of his life was gone in the blink of an eye. Snort. Lolita Zhou was also among them. She looked at the tall people around her with contempt, curling her lips with disdain. Usually a person looks like a dog, but at critical times, he has no master. The big boss came here mainly to find out the movements of the demonic Dao in Hypa City. Where can I take care of? Deal with us little pawns. Eat salty radish and worry about it. The news that the boss is coming this time, she is the one who knew the news earlier among this group of people. When they came here, Yutong, the manager of Rose Company, had already held a meeting with them. However, the big boss seems to be a lot late in arriving. Could it be that something delayed me on the way? But for a boss of that level, who dares to take the initiative to make trouble, isn't that courting death? No way. Even if the sea breeze is for them today, it blows their hair into the Mediterranean Sea. They also have to wait here obediently. That is the 7th Order of Destiny Holy Throne Angel. In a small place like Hypa City, even if some people lived their whole lives, they would never have the chance to meet a real person. Zhou Mu felt a little bored, moved her little feet to Yutong's side, and teased, "Sister Yu, today you are an abstinent beauty. It's been a long time since I saw you dressed like this." "We." On Yutong's serious and holy forehead, a few black lines leaked. Holding back his anger, he said, "You little girl, don't make jokes, and don't look at what occasion this is." Zhou Mu said unconvinced, "Sister Yu, you are just good looking, why don't you let me talk about it? Miu Miu is really a child at heart, why can't she grow up? The helpless Yutong was just about to open his mouth to teach Zhou Miu a few words, but his delicate body was shocked. Sudden. There was an explosion in the sky, breaking the air. Everyone's hearts were shocked. Coming! Call out! The voice fell. The entire beach suddenly shone brightly, making people troubled, and the sea breeze that was blowing wildly subsided in an instant. The eyes of everyone on the beach didn't adapt for a while, and they all became fascinated by the suddenly brightened environment. But Kong Nanyu and Yutong, who are the strongest, can barely bear it. The two of them, withstanding the sudden pressure, looked up into the sky. Chapter 42. What is that? Yutong was shocked, and the blue pupils in her beautiful eyes shrank. It was a middle-aged man with 14 wings, 3 meters tall, and he was shining brightly, which brought her an inexplicable sense of oppression. After staring at the halo behind her, and the cloud world in the halo, she felt slightly dizzy after staring at it for a while. The bright armor all over his body made the middle-aged man look mighty and extraordinary. Hiss! Is that the chief teacher's boss of the 7th Order of Destiny? The 14 wings carried on the back should be a special growth secret flying skill, which is a skill that can only be dropped in the secret realm mastered by the head teacher. As expected of a boss of the 7th rank of Destiny, just this godlike aura is different from me and other mortals. Yutong gasped, and countless thoughts flashed through his mind. She is also an elite who has studied in the Saintess convent, and of course she has insights far beyond ordinary people. Yutong knew very well that just by waving a wing, the boss could easily wipe out these people on their beach. Kong Nanyu and Yutong's performance was still good, but as for the subordinates behind them, they were a bit unbearable. Usually in Hypa City, a big man with a high position and authority, with his head held high. At this time, facing the bosses from the head teacher, they all lowered their heads and shivered like quails. He only dared to use the corner of his eye to observe the movements of the boss of destiny. Wait until the boss of the 7th Order of Destiny lands. As the spokesperson of the Guangming God sect in Hypa City, Kong Nanyu trotted up regardless of his image, and raised his hands to show the boss the highest etiquette in the church. May the light drive away the darkness. May the light be eternal. Bishop of Haipu. Kong Nanyu has met the superior. After Kong Nanyu opened his mouth, all the Yutong people behind him dared to salute together. This is the duty and the rule, the lower ranks must not surpass the upper ranks. Everyone, don't be nervous, everyone is a believer in the Lord. You don't have to do such a big favor to me. In Lower Bellamy, I was instructed by the head teacher to investigate the report of the demon Deo reported by Hypa City. Bellamy with 14 wings showed a warm smile, and slowly approached the people on the beach. With every step he takes, the wings on his back are retracted, and his height is also reduced by 10 centimeters. But when he walked in front of everyone, he had become like an ordinary professional, no longer oppressing mortals like a god-man. The armor on his body was also missing, and he was replaced by a decent pure white suit. The bishops and nuns here stay, other believers leave. My arrival must not affect the normal operation of Hypa City's educational affairs. Bellamy's warm eyes scanned the crowd. Let everyone's bodies stiffened by the sea breeze gradually soften. This detail. It moved the hearts of everyone present. Bellamy knew that if he wanted to understand the situation in Hypa City as soon as possible, it could not be solved by a large number of people. The most important thing is to leave a few key personnel behind. Hearing Bellamy's arrangement, Kong Nanyu and Yutong looked at each other. Turning around to the subordinates behind him, he waved his hand. Everyone else present breathed a sigh of relief and left. Although the person who left was nervous when he didn't come, he couldn't help but feel lost in his heart. After finally meeting a big shot, they thought they could shake hands for the last time. But the reality is that there is no chance of close contact. After blowing the sea breeze for so long, the old cold legs are about to break out. The result is to look up at the holy face from a distance. It is really a pity that the family members will die laughing when they go back. But no matter how many thoughts there are in my heart, I can't express them openly. Everyone present is a boss, you can only hold back if you have an opinion. If you want to express your opinion, you may be able to pack your bags and go home tomorrow. After everyone bowed and left. On the beach, the empty scene returned. In front of Bellamy, only Kong Nanyu and Yutong were left, waiting respectfully. The two of them had humble eyes and waited patiently for the boss to speak. Give me the list of people who have awakened and changed jobs in Hypo City in the past 3 years, and I will see if there are any suspicious people. Bellamy fixed her gaze and said calmly. However, the scene I saw when I passed by Gasua City appeared in my mind. Kang Nanyu and Yutong looked at each other in blank dismay, seeing the puzzled look in each other's eyes. Isn't the purpose of coming this time to investigate the latest trends in the Dao of Demons? Why did it suddenly occur to me to investigate the students who had just awakened and changed jobs within 3 years? This range is probably just graduating high school students and college students. How could a student be connected with the evil way? The head teacher wouldn't think that the 2 major panic incidents in Hypo City were caused by fresh graduates, right? Could it be that there are some loopholes in the education system of our Hypo City? Over the years, the Dao of Demons, whose power has become smaller and smaller, has appointed a new development strategy. To develop newcomers in the evil way, start from a baby? Think carefully. As the bishop of a city, because of a problem with education, little demons appeared in the children. The problem is really big. Thinking of this, cold sweat dripped from Kang Nanyu's temples. Yutong on the side is much more relaxed. The matter of citizens changing jobs and graduating is not up to him. Kang Nanyu murmured in his heart, but the movements of his hands were not slow. Forcibly restraining his trembling hands, he took out his mobile phone from his white robe and quickly sent a few messages. After a while, a middle-aged man rolled from a distance. He was wearing a suit that was too close to the body, and because of the excessive movement when running, several buttons were broken. Seeing this appearance, the 3 of Bellamy had different expressions. Bellamy and Yutong raised the corners of their mouths when they saw his funny look. Kang Nanyu's face darkened. This fat man. Although he looked a bit embarrassed, he was the intelligence director of the Hypo branch. Big and small in Hypo City, he knows everything that happens every day. If it weren't for his strong ability, no one can replace him. Just because of his image, he was expelled from the Guangming God sect long ago. But this cannot blame him. He was also in the welcoming team just now, after Bellamy spoke. He had already left, but Kang Nanyu made him turn back after a phone call. And the text message made it clear that he should come back as soon as possible. He also understood the meaning of leadership and started running. Subordinate Yuan Man, I have met Lord Bei, immediately. There was a dead silence in the air, and everyone froze in place. Fatty Yuan Man's heart sank. Did I say something wrong? Pooh. Now Yutong couldn't hold back anymore, he burst out laughing, breaking the deadlock. This fat man is really funny. I don't know that he is a crooked nut, and the way of addressing his name is different from that in Daxia. Kang Nanyu's face darkened even more, but she was still more embarrassed. This Yuan man is really not consummated today. He lost face to his grandma's house because of the face of the Hypo branch. Bellamy smiled lightly and said, my full name is Bellamy Justin. Justin is my family name. Chapter 43. After Bellamy explained, Fatty Yuan Man also came to his senses. This damn gave the boss the wrong last name. The boss was molested by his subordinates when he first came to Hypo. If it gets out, will things be okay? Yuan Man's face changed drastically in an instant, and he fell to his knees on the beach with a plop. His fat body was shaking non-stop, sweating profusely. He stammered and said, my lord, this subordinate didn't do it on purpose. This subordinate hasn't been to school for a few days. What Yuan Man said was indeed true. When he was a child, his family was not well off, so he dropped out of school early. If it weren't for Blue Star's policy of free job transfer for all, he wouldn't be able to transfer jobs. Bellamy waved his hand, expressing that he didn't care. It's still important to get down to business. Bishop Kong called you back, there must be his intentions. It seems that what he and I want is on you. After Yuan Man heard Bellamy's order, he immediately remembered what his purpose was when he turned back. With a wave of his fat hand, he took out a tablet from the portable space. Under Kang Nanyu's eyes about to kill someone. With a bitter face, Yuan Man handed the tablet to Kang Nanyu with shaking hands. But before it was handed over to him, Bellamy's hand cut off the beard in the middle, received the tablet in his hand, and flipped through it skillfully. Yuan Man's original intention was to make up for his mistakes and ask the bishop to hand over the information to the boss. To his surprise, the boss didn't give him this chance. In order to prevent Bellamy from being confused by the materials he compiled, Yuan Man reminded in a low voice, my lord, I have already classified the materials in advance. You search according to the conditions yourself. Bellamy nodded in satisfaction after hearing this. That's right, the information is organized in an orderly manner. It seems that the intelligence work in Hypo City is quite good. Good. Hearing Bellamy's continuous praise, Kong Nanyu's face was also bright. Pass it to Yuan Man calmly, and temporarily let go of your eyes. Yuan Man suddenly felt relieved, letting go of the hanging heart in his heart. With an idea, he said gratefully, it's all taught by Bishop Kong, and I taught this hand with the bishop. Bellamy stared at the tablet in his hand, and said casually, Bishop Kong is also well-mannered immediately. The atmosphere began to warm up again. The speed of Bellamy's eyes and hands is extremely fast, leaving after images in the air, which is simply unmatched by ordinary people. It is also fortunate that all the technologies of the God of Light are the top of the blue star, otherwise such an operation speed would directly cause the tablet to crash. On a screen that only Bellamy could see. According to the thoughts in his mind, he searched for keywords. Hidden occupation, special occupation, psychopath, insane behavior, socially destructive personality. After searching various keywords, he finally entered a keyword. Water system. After the list on the tablet is refreshed, the information is displayed. Zhang Miao Miao, a water mage. Li Jianhai, a water array mage. Zhang Tao, a water mage. After flipping through several pages in a row. Unwilling to give up, he looked through the entire Hypo City again, all the cute new lists. Still haven't found any suspicious person. In just 10 minutes, he had carefully read the information of 30,000 people in Hypo City. Unfortunately, the information he wanted to see was not found. Lost in his heart, he sighed secretly, with a gentle smile on his face. It seems that Hypo City may be a suspicious tomb arranged by the evil spirits. The purpose is to attract the attention of the major forces of the righteous path. It seemed that the person he was looking for was not in Hypo City. High Priestess Connie. What you see with astrology, may be wrong. Counting Shanghai Pu City, he has traveled through half of the Yan Kingdom within a year. Even Mao hadn't discovered the destruction demon star prophesied by the High Priest. In this era of long magic disappearing, will there really be a magic star coming to the world? Bellamy regretfully handed back the tablet in her hand to Yuan Man, who was waiting bent over. In fact, he is one of the few heavenly destiny 7th ranks among the head teachers of the Guangming God sect. If the only demon path changes, it really can't alarm him to take action. Like this Hypo City, it is a remote city by the seaside of Yan Kingdom, where news from the demonic Dao is reported. To have a provincial inspector come forward is already regarded as a great importance. Why would he disturb the giant of the head teacher? There was indeed another reason for him to come to Hypo City himself. The second in command of the head teacher of the Illuminati sect, the High Priest of the Illuminati sect. Connie Burt. He is the pinnacle figure in today's prophecy spells. When the extraordinary astrology, Blood Moon, appeared this year, the High Priest used astrology to predict that a destroying magic star would be born in Yan Kingdom. Therefore, because of this prophecy with an accuracy rate of 99%, he traveled all over the Yan Kingdom. And he, after temporarily receiving instructions from the Pope, they crossed most of Yan Kingdom again and returned to Huayepa City. In fact, half a year ago, the first stop he received when he received the mission was Hypo City, a small remote city by the seaside of Yangguo. It's just that he came quietly at that time, and no one told him, because he hated other people's compliments to him. In his view, any flattery to him is a temptation on his path to destiny. In order to avoid this temptation, he usually travels in a low-key manner. But there was no way, because of the two weird incidents in Hypo City, he had to come forward and investigate together with Hypo City. This is also fortunate. It is almost impossible for everyone in Hypo City who saw him to see his true face. Unfortunately, though, the information provided by the Hypo sub-teaching still didn't surprise him. There are no weird and evil hidden and special occupations, so he can't see any clues. Could it be an ordinary mage who turned Hypo City upside down? Such an outrageous guess was immediately rejected by him. This made Bellamy wonder if the old high priest was a little confused. This kind of thing has never happened to the elderly high priests. It's all a prophecy, mobilizing the people in the entire church. This is not his only thought. There are also many people in the general meeting who have begun to question the prophecy of the high priest. They couldn't bear it, and wasted their precious leveling time in looking for an illusory magic star. But the Pope's instructions cannot be refuted. Before I continue, the place where I turned around, according to the suspicious place marked in the prophecy, let's find it. Bellamy mused secretly. His eyes fell on several high-level officials in Hypo City. He told everyone present, continue to pay attention to the newcomers who will awaken and change jobs next year. If you have any special hidden occupations, you must report to the head teacher. This is also a conservative approach. Although he has his own ideas in his heart, he still does not act carelessly in actual actions. After hearing Bellamy's instructions, everyone looked serious and nodded heavily. Kong Nan Yulang said, "Please rest assured, my lord, I will use all the resources to handle this matter seriously when I go back." Yu Tong also said, "Don't worry, my lord. I will definitely help Bishop Kong. There are many places that cannot be reached by the church, and our Rose Company can help." Yuan Man was also eager to express his attitude, and quickly said, "I am the same." Among the three of Bellamy, Kikai turned to look at him speechlessly. Chapter 44. Hypo City. On the beach. After Bellamy arranged everything, feeling the warm sunshine, he asked casually, where was it in Hypo City when the demonic aura appeared for the first time? Bellamy's attention now was on calming down her mind. It was indeed his unintentional move to open his mouth to ask everyone's questions. Although he asked casually, but it fell into the ears of other people present, it was the words of Gold and Stone. Grown-ups. In Hypo City, when the first weird incident occurred. It's the time when Hypo No. 1 Middle School is conducting a transfer ceremony. At that time, some people suddenly discovered that their life points were dropping inexplicably. After the investigation, it was found that the people whose HP dropped were all below Level 20. Professionals above Level 20 have not been affected in any way. Kong Nanya was also well prepared. After receiving the news that Bellamy came to Hypo City, he had already asked his confidant to organize all the materials in an orderly manner so that he could recite them. So when he answered Bellamy's questions, his thoughts were clear and orderly. And, we found out after investigating. Kong Nanya's expression became more dignified. At the same time, all the monsters in the People's Park were slaughtered. In order to enhance his persuasion, Kong Nanya took out a portable projector from his portable space. For Bellamy, pictures of the tragedies in People's Park, as well as the panicked expressions of the citizens, were shown. We also used special means to obtain the monsters' wreckage in the monsters' lair. The corpses of all the monsters are all dry. Even plant monsters without blood will turn into rotten wood after death. Without exception. At the end of Kong Nanya's speech, she became emotional. The implication is that such a tragedy, who can do it except the evil way? He engraved in his heart the occurrence of the unknown blood loss incident in the city. How many years? It has been so many years that such a bad incident has not happened under his enlightenment. He also didn't expect that Xie Mo Deo would set his mind on his 1-acre 3-point land. This dam is too rampant. This matter has not yet come to light. After the incident, the citizens of Hypo City called him and the mayor together as trash. This made him feel ashamed, and he had trouble sleeping and eating every night. Even gradually, it has developed into his heart disease. Therefore, when Bellamy came to Hypo City, he was the most excited person. For him, the head teacher is home and Bellamy is the parent. This means that the family has not forgotten his child. Parents are his strongest backing. Parents are the most supportive of him at critical times. Thinking of this, Kong Nanyu also expressed his feelings, and said indignantly, "These devil bastards don't talk about martial arts. This is equivalent to kicking my hard when I was not paying attention. This is not spanking my a, this is simply spanking the face of our god religion." When Kong Nanyu finished speaking, all the people present faintly felt that Kong Nanyu's words seemed a bit inappropriate. Just as Bellamy and Yutong were thinking about it. Yuan Man felt that when the leader was in such grief, he had to resonate with the leader. He also shared the same hatred and said indignantly, "Yes. The bishop is right. Kicking our bishopsa is the same as hitting our god religion in the face." But when Yuan Man finished speaking, he didn't wait. Bishop Kong, whom he had expected, gave him an approving look. Instead, after the air froze for a moment, Bishop Kong raised his leg and gave him a flying kick. Bishop Kong, Fatty Yuan. I outnumber Yuan %, and asterisk. Yuan Man is not a simple person. Although he is a fat man, he is in charge of the church's intelligence work. He is a thief by profession, but his agility is not low. When Bishop Kong flew towards him and kicked him, his bucket waist instinctively twisted. Let Bishop Kang's flying kick pass him by. "Hey! My waist!" Bishop Kong let out a miserable howl, clutching his waist and chasing and beating Yuan Man. Yuan Man didn't just sit still. He thought he had done nothing wrong, and he only wanted to explain to Bishop Kong. Bishop! You listen to me. While running away, Yuan Man turned his head to accompany the smiling face. How could Bishop Kong, who flinched, catch up with him? That's all. The two of them ran and chased each other, and circled on the beach. Ha ha ha. Yu Tong stood aside and did not stop him. With Bellamy around, it's not her turn to speak. She was so happy that she looked lively, the branches of laughter trembled, and there was a surge of waves in her chest. Bellamy stroked her forehead helplessly. Is this the quality of the congregation in a small remote city? Why is it so funny? He didn't come to Hypa City to watch a farce. Cough cough cough. Bellamy coughed a few times, and the two chasing each other immediately froze in place. FK. Forgot that the chief teacher is still there. The two of them are so presumptuous, they are looking for death. Realizing that they had made a big mistake, the two walked up to Bellamy dejectedly, without saying a word, waiting to be dealt with. Bellamy didn't care about punishing the two of them, his thoughts were all on Kong Nanyu's report to him. This weird blood loss incident made him smell something unusual. Bishop Kong, use the map to show me where the People's Park is located in Hypa City. Bellamy's expression became serious, and she asked Kong Nanyu in a serious tone. Seeing that the boss didn't deal with him, he opened his mouth and asked for a map. Kong Nanyu realized that this was an opportunity to make a contribution to the crime. He desperately wanted to take out a map from the portable space. Oops. No. Dead. Kong Nanyu froze. How could she have made a fool of herself at this moment? The last time when I organized my portable space, there was a map that I disliked taking up space, and I threw it into the trash can. It's over. His career as a bishop is over. Kong Nanyu was sweating nervously, as if she had just been drenched in the rain. Seeing Kong Nanyu's appearance, Bellamy frowned. Yu Tong also knew that he might have made a mistake, and he was also nervous about him. Seeing the old leader sweating profusely, Yuan Man felt distressed, and wanted to take out a tissue from his pocket to wipe the leader's sweat. After all, in front of Bellamy, it seemed inappropriate to sweat like this. He secretly sighed in his heart, I didn't expect Bishop Kong to be so weak and sweat so badly. But his hands kept moving, touching into the portable space. Terrible. There was no tissue. Yuan Man was extremely regretful. When he was tidying up his personal space last time, he felt that the paper towels took up a little space, so he casually threw them into the trash can. Now how to do? There is no way to wipe the sweat of the leader. Just when Yuan Man was remorseful, his eyes accidentally fell to a corner in the space. That's a map. As professional intelligence officers, they are not allowed to carry electronic equipment in many places where they sneak, as this will reveal their location. And paper maps. It is their best choice. Yuan Man's map is not simple. This map is woven with precious leaf 60 ice fire silk. No damage to the knife or gun. Water and fire do not invade. It is his favorite map. This map has also been with Yuan Man for a long time, and it is as important as his left hand. But for the old leader, I still reluctantly use it to wipe the sweat of Bishop Kong. Chapter 45. Bishop, wipe off your sweat. Yuan Man smiled flatteringly. He took out the silk map from his portable space and handed it to Kong Nanyu. Kong Nanyu snorted. At this time, he was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot, and subconsciously took the silk map. After he took the map, he was about to wipe the sweat off his brow. Just unfolding the map, he thought, Fatty Yuan's handkerchief, the pattern on it really looks like a map. He stared wide-eyed, carefully looking at the silk map engraved in his hand. Make sure the map in your hand is their map of Hypa City. FK. Isn't this the map I was looking for? Fatty Yuan gave it in time. It just saved my old life. He resisted the urge to kiss Fatty Yuan, excitedly unfolded the map in his hand, and said, My lord, this is the map of our Hypa City. Look. Kong Nanyu raised his hand and pointed out a location on the map. This is the People's Park in Hypa City, where the blood of the monsters was drained. He pointed to the location of the People's Park on the map, and said solemnly. Based on the degree of loss of health, we finally identified that the People's Park at that time was the source of the strange power. What do you think? Bellamy rubbed her chin, her eyes fell on Yu Tong and Yuan Man, as if asking for their opinions. Since the boss asked himself a question, he had to answer it seriously. After a moment of contemplation, the two of them shared their views on People's Park based on the available information, draw conclusions. The two of them have the same opinion, that is, People's Park is very suspicious, and it is very likely to be the source of panic and power development. Good. Bellamy nodded. It seemed that everyone agreed with his judgment, that is People's Park, and it is very likely that it hides unknown secrets. He will definitely gain something by going there. With a big wave of his hand, 14 wings grew behind him, 3 of which swept up the people on the beach. Tang sound. When everyone came back to their senses, the surrounding scene had changed drastically, and they were already above the height of 10,000 meters. Bellamy wrapped the 3 of them in the air. FK. So high. The faces of Kang Nanyu and the 3 of them turned purple because they were too high. All 3 of them have a feeling of suffocating to death. If they observe carefully, they will find that their current angle, looking towards Hypo City, coincides with the proportion of the silk map in their hands. It's there. Bellamy's eyes were fixed, and her gaze was fixed on the People's Park in Hypo City. After aiming in the direction, he swooped down and hit the ground like a cannonball. FK. Boss Bellamy, is this crazy? The 3 of Bellamy rolls fell down, feeling weightless, as if someone was pinching their hearts tightly. Bellamy, who was falling rapidly, flapped her wings fiercely at a height of 5 meters from the ground of the People's Park, stagnated, and then lightly landed on the ground. The 3 of them, who had lingering fears, let out a sigh of relief. This was really scary, it was like riding a roller coaster. Isn't this way of rushing too hardcore? If there is no boss to protect us, we may have fallen apart. With such physical fitness, how high is the strength point? After the blood gradually turned pale on their pale faces, the 3 of them recalled the experience just now. It is no exaggeration to say that just now they were almost scared and peed in their pants. It's so exciting. The 3 of them looked at Bellamy resentfully. My lord, can't you think about it, us mortals? Can you be a little more gentle in your way of rushing? The strength of the 7th Order of Destiny Holy Throne Angel in front of him is simply terrifying. It would not be an exaggeration to say that he is a god in fairy tales. My lord, what are you doing here? Kang Nanyu looked around and found that this was the People's Park that he was very familiar with. After the blood loss incident, he has been here several times. All useful evidence has been searched several times. Moreover, after the accident here, it was temporarily blocked, and it is impossible to come here recently. The formerly bustling sacred land of Mensen People's Park has now become quiet and desolate, and few people come here to level up. Did the boss bring them here to find some clues that they hadn't found? Bellamy didn't answer Kang Nanyu, but stared fixedly at the depths of the dense forest in the People's Park. His strength far exceeds that of Kang Nanyu and the others, so what he sees is different from what they see. The fog in the depths of the dense forest was not formed by natural phenomena, but by the condensation of many resentments after the death of monsters, which could not dissipate for a long time. In other words, the monsters in the People's Park all died with strong hatred. Facing the dense forest with a serious expression, he sang in his mouth, Lost lamb. Return to the embrace of the Lord. Speak your last wishes and tell me who is the real culprit who killed you. After his words fell, the image of the God of Light appeared behind him. The God of Light opened his arms, showing a compassionate image. The trees in the People's Park move without wind. There was the sound of rustling leaves rubbing against each other. Several ghosts floated in front of Bellamy. What makes a few people unbelievable is that the blurry ghost turned into a light curtain, and several blurred pictures flashed. In the picture, a blood-colored figure was connected with countless blood-colored ribbons, and there were still life points flowing in the blood-colored ribbons. Kang Nanyu stared intently at the picture on the light curtain. The bloody ribbon in the picture comes from all directions. The blood-colored figure, like a king, chooses a satisfactory ribbon among the many blood-colored ribbons. At his feet, there were dry corpses like rotten wood. Obviously, the bloody figure in the picture is the chief culprit of this tragedy. It's a pity that the picture given by Yuhun only lasts for a few seconds, and the picture is extremely blurred, only a bloody figure can be seen. Can actually look at the memory of the dead. Oh my god! What a subtle soul control method! Boss Bellamy, you actually have such attainments in the way of the soul. Yu Tong looked at Bellamy's methods in disbelief. She recognized Bellamy's method, which was a secret soul skill passed down in the divine religion. It is not comparable to those high-end goods on the market at all. This kind of soul-like method does not have the special method of the Light God sect, and it is impossible to even learn this skill. As professionals of the Light Department, they know Bellamy's strength better than anyone else. Boss Bellamy's realm is a height that they can hardly reach in their entire lives. Is this the strength of the Seventh Order of Destiny sent by the head teacher? Bellamy ignored it directly, and the three people who would only shout 666 at the side. He squinted his eyes, and in his mind, he kept recalling the bloody figure in the picture just now. Chapter 46. Hypo City. People's Park. Based on the vague picture, Bellamy carefully analyzed it several times. There was also a frown on the face that had always been calm. The bloody ribbon in the picture is really weird and extraordinary. And when he attacks, he will use teleportation to reap. And all the monsters touched by him will lose their health inexplicably. If I meet this person, it will definitely not be beneficial. This person's attack method is so weird, at least he is a strong man above the 8th level of destiny in the Demon Deo. The Blood Shadow's strange attack method was repeatedly recalled in his mind. Every time the Blood Shadow attacks, it will teleport directly and appear behind the target. The elusive Blood Shadow made him feel a chill down his spine. Although he is at the 7th level of destiny, and his movement speed breaks through the speed of sound, no matter how fast he is, he can't compare to teleportation. When fighting, let the enemy appear behind you. Without precautions, he could only end up drinking hatred. From the perspective of his 7th order destiny, the Blood Shadow in the picture is not a character he can match. This strong man who can teleport is at least above the 8th rank of destiny. Because only at the 8th level of destiny, can one have a slight sense of space and easily achieve short-distance teleportation. It's troublesome this time. The strength of each of the 8th level powerhouses of the Demon Deo is far superior to that of professionals of the same level. And most of them have the eccentricity of killing and cruelty. If it is discovered that I have traced them, the greatest possibility is that in a short period of time, experts gathered to kill me together. After Bellamy finished the analysis, her heart sank. He seems to have accidentally put himself in a very dangerous situation. If the strong man of the evil way reacts, he may not even have a chance to escape. He must go now, the faster the better. But the powerhouse at the 8th level of destiny is so obsessed with this dense forest that he slaughtered all the monsters in this dense forest. The purpose is to find out the big unknown secret here. But it seems that the evil spirit has not found what I want. If it is really found, it is impossible that there is no news about the hidden seed we inserted in the demon's way. It seems that he is still lurking in Hypo City. He will not expose himself until the right time comes. After all, Bellamy was a strong man of the 7th level of destiny. When he encountered a life-or-death crisis, he panicked for a moment, then calmed down completely and carefully analyzed the situation. His brain is like a supercomputer, and he can think of dozens of ways to deal with it in an instant. Then what kind of secrets are there in this dense forest? Tempting the powerhouse of the 8th level of destiny in the demonic Deo to make a move. This dense forest looks ordinary, no different from ordinary dense forests. Is there another mystery in it? Bellamy frowned, her brain analyzing rapidly. With white eyes shooting out, he kept scanning the entire dense forest, not letting go of any corners, wanting to explore the secrets of this dense forest. After a while, Bellamy's eyes, tears of blood streaming from the corners of their eyes. Or am I being naive? A wry smile appeared on Bellamy's slightly pale face. Because he was eager to know the secrets in the dense forest, he used the pupil technique for too long, and some injured his body. Obviously still too impatient, can he discover the secrets that other 8th level masters can't discover? See Bellamy boss, silky and smooth operation. Everyone looked at the boss expectantly, hoping that the boss could give a reasonable explanation for the recent strange events. Bellamy sighed, Hypo City is amazing. This small park actually hides such a dark secret. It seems that this dense forest is the forbidden area of your Hypo City. It will attract the covetousness of the strong in the evil way. Seeing the expected eyes of everyone, Bellamy revealed everything she had discovered. He felt that he didn't see it, and neither did the strong man of the 8th level of destiny. It shows that the secrets buried in this people's park are really extraordinary. Kong Nanyu, Yutong, and Yuan Man, after listening to Bellamy's analysis, looked in the direction of the dense forest in doubt, looked at each other in blank dismay, and looked at each other in bewilderment. Is this the result of the boss's analysis? The dense forest in this people's park sounds amazing, and it hides a lot of danger. We are all natives of Hypo City. We have played here since we were young. Why didn't we find any danger? Still need the 8th Order powerhouse to clear the field? My lord, here, this is the novice area. Some are just leave 5 LV.10 monsters. If it's really clearing the field, there is no need for an 8th level powerhouse to take action. Yuan Man, who knew Hypocity well, raised his own doubts. Boss Bellamy's analysis is very good, the only loophole is, if Siemo Deo really wants to turn this place upside down, he doesn't need a big shot at the 8th level of destiny. Yes. This is the novice leveling area. Bellamy froze. How can it be used here, a master who can teleport to clear the field? This is simply an anti-aircraft gun hitting mosquitoes, okay? Just send a small guy, and you can clear the place. Why let the boss of the 8th level of destiny take the risk of exposure to make a move here? What secrets might this place hold? It's just that the boss is in a bad mood and wants to vent his anger by killing. Could it be me who overcomplicated the problem? Bellamy felt like her brain was going to explode. He asked unwillingly, are there really no secrets in this dense forest? What's the secret in People's Park? This is a place where citizens exercise and where old ladies and old men practice Tai Chi. People come and go here every day, where can we hide secrets? Everyone racked their brains and couldn't figure out where the secret Bellamy said was hidden. Although their strength is far behind Bellamy's. But how could a small people's park exist, hiding its hidden location? Seeing everyone's constipated faces, Bellamy also remained silent. When the people's park enters the park, there will be a record. Is there any suspicious person in it? Bellamy felt that he might have missed some key information, and wanted to get more useful clues from the three of them. That. My lord, we checked. Because it's graduation time that day, the people who come here are all fresh graduates. As for the master you mentioned, we really haven't found it. Kong Nanyu smiled wryly, because it was time for graduates to change jobs. The old men and women who usually come here to exercise also make room for the children who graduated that day to practice. They also did not expect that the boss of the 8th level of destiny would fight monsters with a group of children on the day of graduation. If the big brother really took action to do this, he would lose his face a little bit. It's simply outrageous. Chapter 47. Bellamy also felt that if the deist really wanted to do this, it's no different from rushing to the kindergarten alone and beating the children violently. It's really a huge drop in value. If you really do this, how will you still be on the road in the future? Bearing the name of bullying the small, he may be cast aside by both good and evil for a lifetime. So, maybe there's really nothing to see here. Let's go and see the secret place where the guild's accident happened. I heard that there was an avalanche there, which is also very strange. With the strength of the professional guild, how can you misjudge the danger of the secret realm? Now Bellamy felt that her brain was like a paste, and it gave her a headache even if she moved it. The complexity of this matter is far beyond my imagination. The traces of the 8th Order Master of Destiny are even more faintly visible. It seems that it has been here, and it seems that it has not been here. It really made him unpredictable. Bellamy felt that since no useful clues could be obtained here, it would be better to go to another place to have a look. Two strange events happened so close to each other. It is impossible for ghosts to believe that there is no connection. Bellamy asked Kong Nanyu to point out the location of Yulong's secret realm on the map. My lord, this is the place. After the unknown blood loss incident, there was an avalanche here the next day. Kong Nanyu took out a map and pointed out the location of the Jade Dragon's secret realm to Bellamy. Bellamy nodded to show her understanding, and stretched out her 14 wings again behind her. Repeat the last operation. After everyone flew into the air, they fell directly to the place where the Jade Dragon's secret realm was. Jade Dragon's secret realm. Since the avalanche happened here, this secret place has been banned by the government due to safety issues. No one is allowed to come here, upgrade and explore. The place where the secret realm was located became desolate again. Around the Jade Dragon's secret realm. Because of the development of the new secret realm, various supporting facilities can be built. They also stopped development because of the closure of the secret realm. There are unfinished hotels, restaurants, and supermarkets everywhere. Originally, this place would become a new scenic spot in Hypo City, but now it can only helplessly become a dead town. It's a pity, there will be good development here. Because of an avalanche of unknown reasons, the development plan was stillborn. The economic damage is incalculable. Standing at the entrance of the Jade Dragon's secret realm, Kong Nanyu sighed. This is also the problem. This is a newly developed secret realm. Even if there are top-level props, it will take a long time before they can be refreshed. How could someone make such a big commotion inside? This posture of wanting to tear down the secret realm, I don't know what the other party's purpose is. Bellamy murmured. According to the information provided to him by Kong Nanyu and others, this avalanche happened in a very strange way. With the strength of a professional around level 40, how could it cause an avalanche when doing it? Bellamy took out a space scroll from the portable space. Open the space crack in the Jade Dragon's secret realm. Although the system has level restrictions, human professionals always have a way to exploit the loopholes in the system. And one of the functions of the space scroll is to open an entrance without level restrictions next to the entrance of the secret realm. But using a space scroll worth 70 million federal coins to enter a low-level secret realm can be regarded as extremely luxurious. Bellamy led the crowd to the top of the Jade Dragon's secret realm. The monsters along the way were trembling, and they didn't dare to drag them into the monster's lair. These monsters may not have a high IQ, but they are definitely not idiots. Provoking high-level powerhouses for no reason, even killing them is impossible. After everyone reached the level of the top of the mountain, Bellamy's old trick was repeated. Use the soul secret technique secreted by the Guangming sect again to call the dead souls who died here. After a dragon chant, a cloud of grey mist floated faintly towards the crowd. This cloud of grey fog is much denser than what I saw in People's Park before. The outline of the dragon can be vaguely seen. After seeing the dragon soul, the big bosses didn't make any waves in their hearts. Isn't it a dragon? They didn't hesitate to take a look at such a boss monster who had no face to face. Everyone looked at it intently, and the picture in the fog came. Although it's just a fragment like the photo, they could clearly see a vast ocean full of blood. In the sea of blood, there was a figure that could not be seen clearly, but no matter how hard the bone dragon tried, he couldn't get close to the figure. The distance between the two is like Cape Tianya. The bone dragon can only be incompetent and furious. Everyone can feel the helplessness and unwillingness of the bone dragon through the screen. It's about the same strength as the previous strong man who can teleport. This is also a powerhouse of the 8th Order of Destiny, who can summon a sea of blood from a different space. Bellamy's mood, which had only calmed down for a while, immediately set off a turbulent sea. The sea of blood is boundless, like a variant of water magic. It's completely the means of the evil way, and everyone likes to magically modify the skills of the system according to their own preferences. In that sea of blood, only one figure could be vaguely seen. With a vague appearance, it is even impossible to judge whether it is the same person as the strong man who appeared in the People's Park previously. In the People's Park, the strong man's teleportation, the attack method behind the target wrapped by the ribbon of blood energy. It is simply an assassin, with a single and effective attack method. And the powerful man who summoned the Sea of Blood in the Jade Dragon's secret realm, the devastating attack method is the method of the Mage. Therefore, the two cannot be the same person at all. If there is such a means, the biggest possibility is above the 9th Order of Destiny. The reincarnated man. Only those who have been reincarnated and rebuilt can have two different professions at the same time. Hiss! Bellamy gasped, feeling extremely shocked. Then he immediately denied this outrageous idea. The person who made these movements is a strong man with more than one turn. The probability of that is almost zero. The system will not allow them to break the rules so blatantly. In other words, the people in the People's Park and the Jade Dragon's secret realm are not the same person, they are both high-level powerhouses in the evil way. However, the purpose of their gathering here is to make a big move. Why didn't the head teacher notice any clues this time? The action is so concealed, it is the same as the evil way without any action. It's really scary. Not reconciled, he summoned the dead souls one by one along the route down the mountain. I want to find some useful information from a lot of fragmented information. For this reason, Bellamy, who had overdrawn her magic power, reluctantly drank the extremely precious recovery potion. Unfortunately, nothing was found. He also found a funny picture. It is President Su and Ye Xinghe, standing together, watching the scene of the rescuers digging out Xiang Yun from the snowdrift like pulling a carrot. This red-haired young man is really unlucky. It is so close to the boss monster of the secret realm. But it's also lucky, if you happen to come across a big boss of the evil way, if you get upset and give him a slap, it would be a pity. Chapter 48. In the Jade Dragon's secret realm. Bellamy took Kong Nanyu and the three of them to persistently search for various useful memory fragments. Unfortunately, nothing came of it. However, he wouldn't believe that even if he killed this boss of 7th Order Destiny, the target he wanted to find had already flashed through the memory fragments many times. The 3 people who followed Bellamy felt distressed for a while when they saw the big man with a pale face and slightly shaking body. The boss is really too conscientious. The 3 of Kongnanya blamed themselves very much. They were weak and could not help the boss too much. They could only watch the big brother helplessly, perseveringly flipping through the clips. The number far exceeded the previous clips. After half an hour, everyone returned to the foot of the mountain again, after checking the last soul. Bellamy couldn't hold on any longer, she swayed and fell down. Fortunately, everyone was also quick-sighted, and supported Bellamy together before he fell. They all knew that Bellamy's mind was seriously depleted. The depleted mind is like any potion, and it cannot be replenished. The only way is to have a good rest. My lord, how is it? Have you found anything suspicious? Is the demon Deo really making a big move this time? Kongnanya asked with concern. This time, the action of the demonic Deo is weird, and I didn't find anything. But it shouldn't be aimed at this small place in Hypo City. Just rest assured. Moreover, this incident involved a very high level, which is no longer to the extent we can participate. It's best to forget about it as soon as possible. Bellamy exhorted everyone weakly. He looked serious, not at all joking. As for the truth of what Kongnanya wants, it seems that there will be no results. Now, after only walking through 2 places, I have already seen 2 bosses of the 8th level of Destiny in the Demon Deo. He didn't dare to continue the investigation. If he really caught him, he would find out more information. It is very likely that it will be regarded as a signal of breaking face with the righteous way by the evil way. If he becomes the fuse and triggers a greater disaster, then he will really be blamed. Bellamy decided that he should return to the head teacher as soon as possible and report this matter. It is up to the giants of the head teacher to decide how to deal with this matter. Looks like I'm on my way. The disaster that happened in Gasua City was also related to the Deo of Demons. There may also be a strong man of the evil way. There are so many masters of the evil way gathered on the coast of the Yan Kingdom, there must be hidden secrets. Blue Star may change the sky soon. Bellamy's hairs stood on end at this moment, and the more she thought about it, the more frightened she became. He also thought of the monstrous flood that he saw in Gasua City. That kind of fishy smell that makes people dizzy and disgusting is not the right way at first glance. The Siemo Deo made such a big move, it may also be for the Demon Star. If so, Bellamy felt a little regretful. The first stop he came out to find the magic star was Hypo City. If it was at that time, if he had united with the power of the sect, he might have discovered these strange events and the signs before they happened. It will also be able to report the news of the head teacher in time, and destroy the plan of the evil spirit. We remember. Kongnanya, Yutong, and Yuan Man nodded solemnly. This investigation actually made the bosses of the 7th rank of Destiny so embarrassed. And also gave them such advice, if they dare to underestimate it, they may not know how they died in the end. They decided to forget about it, and the townspeople cursed as they liked. Compared with face, of course one's own life is more important. After leaving the Jade Dragon's secret realm, over there in Gasua City, you should also be careful. Bellamy made one last remark, and everyone nodded solemnly again. After Bellamy finished speaking, a pair of wings appeared behind her. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, it slowly lifted into the air, and then accelerated away. Kongnanya and the others were left behind, looking at each other in blank dismay. They originally arranged for the envoy from the chief teacher to arrange the 7 heavens of Hypo City. I didn't expect this big guy to be so resolute. Dragging his seriously injured body, he left in a hurry without even taking a breath. The boss is leaving just like that. I'm in the church, so the Hypo welcomes you show that I had arranged for the boss will not be performed. Kongnanya murmured. The swimsuit reception I organized for the boss in the company can no longer be held. Yutong also sighed slightly. In order to prepare well for this reception, she even used her connections to invite a lot of foreign aid girls. Then let's go. Kongnanya also felt the same way, and said to Yutong helplessly. He also did not expect that the head teacher's investigation would end so soon. What worries him the most is, not only has the weird incident not been investigated clearly, it is still in the process of investigation. Behind the weird incident, there is a bigger thunder. Is this just downright bad luck? It's really unfortunate that this place has become the center of the whirlpool. In other times, once Hypo City becomes chaotic, I'm afraid even my own grave will be destroyed. Oh, after Kong Nanyu and Yutong looked at each other, they both sighed, both worried about their bleak future. But there was no way. After everyone greeted each other, they were also preparing to bid farewell to each other and leave. Just when everyone was about to leave, behind Kong Nanyu and Yutong, Yuan Man said weakly, "Manager Yu, I haven't seen the swimsuit reception you mentioned, can you? At number Yuan %, and asterisk at." Before he could finish speaking, Kong Nanyu and Yutong chased and beat him, swearing and spitting all over their mouths. "What's wrong with me?" Yuan Man held his head in grievance, and ran towards the center of Haipa City. Kong Nanyu and Yutong followed behind him, chasing after him. Yuan Man, who was beaten all over his head, was temporarily entrusted with an important task by the bishop before he parted ways with the two. Let him continue to investigate the traces of the magic star in Haipa City in secret. Although Bellamy had warned them not to pursue them any further before leaving. But Kong Nanyu, who had a strong sense of justice, decided to share the chief teacher's worries in private. After all, even if you are going to die, you have to make some contributions before you die, right? After Yuan Man received the important task, he decided to go to the professional guild to check it out. It was a place where fish and dragons mixed together, and it was his favorite place to scout for information. There will be unexpected gains every time, and it has been tried and tested. Yuan Man was going to the Director Song's office to say hello. His external identity is that of the head chef of the Light God sect. Every time I come to the guild, I will use the important banquet as an excuse to buy some precious ingredients with Director Song. By the way, inadvertently inquire about some secret news. As for why he got to know Director Song to such an extent, it can only be said that both of them are big fat people. When two big fat guys meet, there will be a feeling of heroes cherish heroes. The two people who have a crush on each other are a pair of good friends who talk about everything. Chapter 49. Yuan Man walked on the way to Director Song's office with a sad face. Thinking about Bishop Kang's words in his heart, I didn't expect the bishop to dare to disobey the meaning of the superior. Let me privately pursue the news of the magic star. However, if you think about it carefully, how could there be a magic star in our back country? Even if a magic star comes into the world, maybe where are you still working now? He is also the result of careful analysis in combination with the current situation of society. In the current age of class solidification, unless you can get a hidden special occupation, or get a taboo item that can change your life against the sky. Otherwise, no one can get rid of the distress of firewood, rice, oil, salt, sauce, vinegar, and tea. In other words, if the magic star really lived in this era. If you were born in poverty, you may still be worrying about your life now. If they were born in a wealthy family, who would go to such great lengths to rebel? Pool party? Champagne beauty? Isn't it fragrant? Yuan Man had something in his heart that he had never dared to say. That's why he felt that the head coach and the top bosses were all stupid in leveling and practicing. Every day I think about those things that don't make sense. It's just worrying about nothing. But he can't help it, since the bishop trusts him and assigns him such a secret task. It is necessary for him to do this well. Old Yuan, why are you free to come to my place today? Unknowingly, Yuan Man, who bowed his head in thought, walked to Director Song's office. Director Song, who was a little bored, was the first to notice Yuan Man approaching. Yuan Man has a good relationship with him, and usually brings him some snacks that suit his taste. The friendship between gentlemen is as light as water. Director Song liked this kind of relationship very much, and felt very comfortable getting along with him. Old Song. I asked you for the ingredients last time, is there any news? Yuan Man put away the worries in his heart and quickly entered his role. Self-consciously, he sat down opposite Director Song, picked up the teapot on the table, and poured himself a cup of tea. It's been prepared for you a long time ago, and it's in the storage. When you leave, you take it with you. Director Song leaned on the chair and said in a relaxed manner. Ha ha ha, then thank you, Old Song. This is the latest snack developed by the church, honey crystal fruit. I brought it here specially for you to taste. Yuan Man laughed loudly, and took out a small lunch box from his fat robe, and put it in front of Director Song. Okay, Fat Man Yuan, I tell you that you didn't take out the gift until you found the materials. If I'm not ready, will you not give it to me? Supervisor Song pretended to be angry and joked to Yuan Man. Yuan Man smiled indifferently, and said embarrassingly, that's not true, which one of us is with whom? Well, that's about the same. Supervisor Song narrowed his eyes and smiled. At this time, emotions are also almost in place. Yuan Man's mind turned, and he raised a topic first. He inadvertently asked, "Old Song, have you met any young people with outstanding performance recently?" This was a question that Yuan Man had already thought about when he came. Since it is the destroyer demon star that even the head teacher attaches great importance to, it must have behaved differently from ordinary people. So many unusual things have happened recently. The magic star should also leak some tells. A young man with outstanding performance. Director Song was taken aback for a moment, wondering why Yuan Man asked this question. But in his mind, he still subconsciously recalled it. Xinghe's sunny smile. Of course, we have a lot of talents in Hypo City. How could it be possible not to highlight the youth? But if you ask me the most outstanding one, I have a candidate in my heart, and it must be well deserved. Director Song replied without thinking, his tone full of admiration. Oh. Yuan Man was also interested. Director Song is such a picky person, who else can catch his eyes? Director Song, as the director of the professional association, has seen countless young geniuses in the small city of Hypo City. A person who can get such an evaluation from Director Song must not be an ordinary person. Then tell me, what makes him different from ordinary people? Yuan Man asked curiously. Let me tell you, Fatty Yuan. A few days ago, you were also aware of the fact that I almost fell. Director Song sighed, looking up at the ceiling, as if recalling those difficult days. Guess what, when I was most difficult, I met a young man. He is the only one who came out of the Jade Dragon secret realm. Later, in order to thank others, I also searched for information. He turned out to be a student who just changed his job at Hypo No. 1 Middle School this year. In just a few days, it reached leave 35. A few days ago, I also humbly asked our president about the path of destiny. The next day, they rushed to Kasa City without stopping, trying hard to hit leave 50. I really don't know whose child this is. The background is mysterious, the personality is good, and most importantly, he works very hard. In the future, this young man might be famous for Blue Star. Speaking of Xinghe, who had saved his life, Director Song didn't hesitate to praise Xinghe, and kept throwing it at Xinghe. He kept telling Yuan Man everything about Xinghe, became thirsty a few times, and drank several large glasses of water. Is everything you said true? Yuan Man was shocked in his seat by the experience of this outstanding boy. The boy Director Song spoke of was as if he had eaten chemical fertilizers. The speed of growth is too staggering. Arriving from leave 0 to leave 30 in a few days doesn't sound like much. However, in reality, it is difficult to achieve it. It is necessary to concentrate a large amount of resources on one person in a short period of time. In a small place like Hypo City, even if someone wants to concentrate resources, they must have resources to concentrate on. When the deeds of Xinghe fell into Yuan Man's ears, he even thought that Director Song was telling himself a fairy tale. We still have such geniuses in Hypo City. Old Song, you won't be making up stories to fool me. Yuan Man was full of disbelief, and questioned with curled lips. I'm in a hurry to get angry here, but you tell me stories to amuse me, it's not authentic. FK. Fatty Yuan. How long have we known each other? Do I have to tease you? Supervisor Song was also furious. He closed his eyes angrily, not wanting to talk to Yuan Man. With arms crossed, he lay down on the chair, as if he was about to see off a guest. Yo-ho! This fatty Song is still getting petty with me? Fortunately, when I usually coax my wife, I practiced so many hands. Yuan Man rolled his eyes, and said softly, it's not that I don't believe you, it's just that the young man you mentioned is really outstanding. If you say nothing, I really think you are teasing me. However, you can't blame me. Of course I don't believe in things I haven't seen. Chapter 50. Supervisor Song is not an unreasonable person, after listening to Yuan Man's explanation. The chi in his chest also disappeared half. Yes. There is no basis for what I say, so why should people believe it? Director Song narrowed his closed eyes, and gave Yuan Man a sideways look. I found that his attitude of admitting his mistakes was very sincere, not like pretending. Here. Director Song casually pulled out a file bag from the drawer and threw it in front of Yuan Man. He said angrily, this is what I said, the information of the outstanding boy. You stare your beady eyes wide, show me a good look. This is Xinghe's information that he collected with great difficulty and spent a lot of effort. It was originally not for people to see, but if Fatty Yuan didn't believe it, he was going to throw it out to shock him. Yuan Man couldn't wait to open the file bag, took out the information inside, and carefully read the words on it. He wants to see if this boy is as miraculous as Director Song said. Xinghe? Good name. Mage. Have a future. 18 years old? FK. Really just changed jobs this year. He looked down. On the day of the successful job transfer, I went to People's Park, and then went to Yulong's Secret Realm. What? People's Park? Jade Dragon's Secret Realm? Yuan Man's eyes widened and his pupil shrank, feeling something was wrong. He is a mage who has just changed his profession, with his small glass-like body. Upgrading in the early stage also requires finding someone to form a team. How could it be possible to upgrade so quickly? Time to form a team, time to repair equipment, time to check upgrade information. That all takes time. However, it is impossible for Fatty Song to deliberately make up the information on the information to deceive him. Moreover, no place he has been to can be safe and sound. This is simply a disaster, right? There is another possibility that he is the magic star. Such an interesting thing, why are you telling me now? If they had discovered this young man named Xinghe earlier, they would not have been so passive. This Xinghe's path to rise is so weird, maybe he is the person Bellamy is looking for. When Yuan Man thought of this, he was startled, and his heart was full of waves. If this Xinghe is really the person the head teacher found, it would be a great contribution. The members of their sub-teaching in Hypo City must be able to receive many rewards from the head teacher. Maybe I can also have the opportunity to be the bishop of one branch. He no longer has to do this kind of sneaky, underground intelligence work every day. He really had had enough of this kind of days when he couldn't see the light. Yuan Man couldn't help but blame Director Song. Why didn't he tell him about such a prominent young man before? FK. Fatty Yuan, you are a cook, can I argue with you? If you hadn't asked me about it today, we should normally be talking about food. Director Song was also in a daze, regarding Fatty Yuan's performance today. Compared with usual, the difference is really big. After all, no matter how good Xinghe is, what can he do as a cook? He even dared to blame himself and didn't take the initiative to tell him. It's really salty to eat radish and worry about it. I am a cook and ask what's wrong. If I'm a cook, can't I have the world in my heart? Everyone is just changing jobs, and theoretically there is no distinction between high and low. Everyone is trying to make Blue Star better, how can you say that about me? Yuan Man was very aggrieved in his heart, his real identity could not be exposed. He spoke righteously and sternly to Supervisor Song, pulling out a lot of truth. Go, hurry up and get the ingredients, you will learn how to cook. What are you talking about with me here? Supervisor Song said impatiently. Snort. Yuan Man snorted disdainfully, turned and left Director Song's office. Supervisor Song drove him away, just as he wanted. After getting such important information, it is important to go back and report to Bishop Kong. Hypo City. Bright God Church. At the highest point of the church is a towering spire. The spires of the towers radiate light elements in all directions, making those who are close to the church feel warm and comfortable. And this high tower is also the bishop's room. Inscribed in the room is the light concentrating array unique to the light god sect, spreading the glory of the Lord to the citizens of Hypo City all the time. There are wall tiles engraved with Bible stories everywhere in the room, and the religious taste is extremely strong. In one of the rooms, an unknown dark room. Under the pressure, I can only relax if I take a comfortable bath. Kong Nanya with a ruddy complexion, with a white towel on his head, was lying comfortably in the large bathtub in the dark room, very comfortable and comfortable. The walls around the bath are carved with angels, holding a vase in their hands, and the hot spring water keeps pouring down from the bottle. This dark room is Kong Nanya's unique design, which combines the light concentrating circle and the hot spring circle into a health bath. While soaking in the bath can also increase Kong Nanya's light element affinity, killing two birds with one stone. This is Kong Nanya's proud work. Whenever he is stressed, he will come here to take a bubble. But because his design will steal Shen Guang, he can't show it to others, and can only sneak in every day. Such a great design cannot be known to outsiders. This is also a big regret for Kong Nanyu. In the process of meeting Bellamy today, there were many twists and turns. And in the end, I also learned the secret about the magic star. So Bishop Kong was very angry, so he came here to take a bath to relieve the pressure. Ka ka ka. Kong Nanyu's complexion changed when he was enjoying it. This is the sound of the door closing in the darkroom. Who else would know how to open the darkroom? Bishop. Not good. Yuan Man ran to the pool in a hurry and looked at Kong Nanyu anxiously. Fatty Yuan. How will you be here? The naked Kong Nanyu quickly grabbed the bathrobe to cover her body, and looked at Yuan Man in front of her with embarrassment. Fatty Yuan must have investigated himself. Otherwise, how could he know about this dark room? What does he want to do now? Are you going to rebel? At this time, Bishop Kong was also in a panic. He also knew that it wasn't a day or two since Yuan Man had taken a fancy to his bishop position. The bishop is so innocent. How do you take care of it? Yuan Man muttered in his heart, but he quickly came back to his senses and said anxiously, Bishop. I may have found news about the magic star. Oops. I almost confused the bishop and forgot today's important task. Fortunately, my old Yuan was determined and told the business in time. What? We just separated. You found the trace of the magic star. Kong Nanyu was shocked when he heard the word magic star, and was stunned in the bath. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.